I'm Dick Hafner, WJR News. And now, here's Kevin Dietz.
From the great voice of the Great Lakes, this is Paul W. Smith on WJR, with Kevin Dietz filling in for Paul.
Good morning. It is Tuesday, November the 17th. Little dusting of snow on the grass and on the car this morning. I know it's November, but are we mentally ready for the snow? The snow scrapers, the hats, the gloves, and the winter coats. I don't know. The round table has assembled this morning. We'll check in with them. Dave Rieger is in for Ann Thomas. Dave, how are you?
Good. How are you doing this morning, Kevin?
Excellent, excellent. Dana Clark, good morning.
Good. Cold morning out there. Very crispy.
It sure is. And Dick Hafner is in the studio. Dick, how are you?
I'm just peachy. I couldn't be better. 100%.
Well, you sound good, and that's excellent. We're happy to hear that. Dave, did you have a little snow on your car this morning? I see you made it to the studio. Did you have to scrape a little bit?
No, it was just a little bit, mostly just some freezing rain. Wasn't too bad. Quick
hit of the windshield wipers, and you were good to go.
Yep.
Dick, are you ready for this? Every winter I say this is it. I've got to figure out a way to get out of these Michigan winters, but here we are again.
Oh yeah, I'm ready. Oh yeah, I know. I usually expect the worst. I'm a newsman, so I'm on the pessimistic side.
Galoshes ready to go. Dana, how do you like winters?
I hate winter. I hate winter. But you know what? This year, why not? This is the first year that we actually don't have to get up extra early to get to work. So I'm kind of looking forward to just, sleeping my normal time, a few minutes before I come downstairs. I don't have to get up every hour, look outside, see if there's snow, look outside, see if there's snow, and figure out what time I have to leave. So bring it on. Why not? 2020 has been something anyway. So
see, there's a realistic person for you.
That's a nice little benefit of work from home. You don't have to worry about how much snow fell. I'm a fan of the Four Seasons actually in Michigan. It's just that first cold that hits before it's pretty, before there's any real snow on the ground, that kind of annoys me. And maybe winter in Michigan runs 3 weeks too long, maybe take a week off the top and 2 off the back.
3 months too long, yeah.
3 months too long, something like that. Dana, I just wanted to give you a quick update on a story we talked about a little earlier today. Royal Caribbean already has 100,000 people who signed up for that test cruise so far that you passed on. In less than a week, more than 100,000 volunteers have signed up to go on a free Royal Caribbean test cruise. The company has to do test runs to make sure that they are COVID safe before they take paying customers out. And we were going to get you all signed up. We were on the news early, and we had this spot for you, but
hard pass.
You
hard
sure?
Pass on the COVID cruise.
We can make a call and see if they can save you one spot.
No, I'm good.
Well, there's a cruise already that went into the Caribbean, a smaller cruise outfit that wanted to show that you can send out a cruise ship and do it safely with all the protocols. They had to pull into port at Barbados because of all the COVID cases.
See?
They had. Yeah.
Pass.
It didn't
But
work.
that was the first one, Dana. This one, I'm sure will be
This
fun.
this one would be perfect, right?
You and 100,000 of your favorite friends just out cruising around, floating around, and testing whether COVID is tough on a cruise ship.
My greatest fear and nightmare altogether.
Yes, I don't think I don't think I'll be signing up for that one either. All right, we're going to take a quick break on the Paul W. Smith Show. We'll be back with much more. Let's check our traffic and weather with Dan Clark.
This report is sponsored by Compassion International.
We're all feeling the weight of COVID-19, but for kids in poverty this Christmas, things are desperate. Bring joy to a child when you make your special year-end gift to Compassion International. Just text GIFT to 83393. That's GIFT to 83393.
Traffic first sponsored by McLaren Health Plan. McLaren Health Plan is helping families stay healthy with coverage for virtual doctor visits, flu shots, and access to over 140 hospitals in Michigan. McLaren Health Plan, the right plan for right now. Learn more at mclarenhealthplan.org. So an update with the power. I'm sure Dick has more information in his newscast. DTE reports 55,000 customers still without power in the metro area. So Treat any uncontrolled intersection as a four-way stop. Right now, we're accident-free and no delays. Now, WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel, sponsored by Must Construction Careers. Earn while you learn in a union apprenticeship and graduate debt-free. We need qualified, motivated individuals to help us build Michigan. Must Construction Careers Management and Union serving together. Learn more at mustcareers.org.
Gusty northwest breeze, cold fronts through. A little colder today. Cloud, sunshine, 37. That wind certainly making it feel colder. Tonight we'll clear it out. 25 in town. Suburbs will be a little colder. Sunny tomorrow with a high in the low 40s, but 60s coming by the end of the week. From the Weather Channel, meteorologist Ray Stitchcom, Newstalk 760 WJR.
It's 5:44 in the morning on WJR. Let's check in with Rush Limbaugh.
United Airlines made a tough call this month when they told a passenger traveling from Newark to Los Angeles that she would have to leave her emotional support service animal behind. The passenger had a ticket for Dexter the peacock, but United said, no way. Now, a 21-year-old college student's in the news over an incident that occurred last November. She was flying from Baltimore to her home in South Florida to take care of a medical issue. She had with her Pebbles, her dwarf hamster, which is part of the gerbil family, who was going to provide emotional support for her. Now, when Spirit Airlines refused passage for the rodent, the student says she tried unsuccessfully to rent a car. After agonizing for several hours, the student claims that she followed advice from Spirit representatives and took Pebbles to the women's restroom. The student says she was scared, and so was Pebbles. Pebbles didn't know where he was going to end up, with good reason. So Pebbles was put in the toilet, and the toilet was flushed. It's bye-bye Pebbles. And after the deed was done, the student said she sat crying for 10 minutes in the stall and then flew home. Now, Spirit says they never told her to flush the animal down the toilet. They do admit the student was originally told that her hamster would be allowed to travel. As for the peacock, he should thank his lucky stars he can't fit in the toilet. Now, folks, do with this what you will, but all of it did happen. Really.
Rush Limbaugh, noon to 3, today, right here on WJR.
Our energy grid. It powers.
So we are out, Kevin. I still hear the station, but.
Okay. Well, good morning, everybody who's joining us on Facebook Live. Ron and Mark and Ann and Patrick and Mike and Bill. It was snowing in Clinton Township. It's snowing right now
he left
here.
The gym. Is it?
Yeah, not heavy, but it is. The snow's still coming down.
My poor little patio furniture unprotected.
Yep, it's got a dusting. It's got a dusting. If you haven't brought it in or if you haven't covered it up.
Oh, boy.
It has a dusting.
Well, I guess it is mid-November.
Yes, we were spared for quite some time. We had some.
Do you read the Farmer's Almanac? I never read it. Some people swear by it.
It scares me. It seems like anytime someone tells me about it, they're telling me that it's calling for the worst winter in 100 years or something. So I just avoid it at all costs.
Yeah, I don't have one. Not at all. Not at all.
But how was your day yesterday, Dana? Was it busy? Keep you jumping?
Wow, our 2-day increase of COVID is 12,763.
Yeah,
wow.
It's out there.
It's raging.
And people are now changing. People are changing their plans for Thanksgiving. They're now out and about rushing to get food to make sure that the stores didn't run out. They're stocking up. The store shelves are starting to thin. And everybody immediately, when they heard the news that the record numbers of COVID and deaths and hospitalizations, everybody ran out immediately to go shopping, to get out there in it.
Oh, man. I guess I better get busy myself.
And you remember, you're supposed to send one volunteer from each family each time, not keep sending everybody out. But
Patrick said, "Can we send all the anti-maskers on a cruise?"
we found 100,000 people for you to go.
Yeah, are they testing each person? Obviously, you would think before they get on, right?
Yeah, and probably every day, because if you then have it, they must have to quarantine you somewhere on the boat, right? I mean, that must be the point of it all. The CEO, an optimist, he said it was gratifying to see how many people want to help get cruises back. 100,000 people to jump in is a lot.
Prices are low and stored to keep prices affordable. And we upgrade and monitor the system 24/7.
I've never been on a cruise before, so
I have no interest. That is the most frightening thing to me, to be stuck out there, or the ship gets sick and it just passes to no norovirus. Is that what the other cruise virus is?
Yeah, I was wondering if even before any of the pandemic, I would just wonder if a cruise would even be fun, or if I'd be bored.
I hear people love it, and I hear there's so much to do, and it's big, and it doesn't feel like you're on a cruise. But I'd rather just get there and get off and do my thing.
Oh, you've never tried it, Dana?
Nope. I have no interest.
I think it's fun, but it's like Vegas. It's like something for 3 days, like, short cruise, not a long extended one for me. I don't care how big the cruise is, they're still small. Like the cabins, unless you're rich, the cabins are small. They're tiny. And they say, well, you just go there to sleep. You're out on the ship the rest of the time. But there's multiple restaurants to choose from.
They got a casino on the cruise, right?
Yeah, casinos and absolutely.
Lots of food and
casinos, and you can shoot skeet off the back, and there's
hit golf balls. I hear.
The one thing that disappointed me about the pool was the pool's there, but then they just empty it and refill it with the water from the ocean, so it's salt water.
Oh,
so
goodness.
It's like heavy, salty water.
Salt water?
Yeah.
Really?
No, I am not interested at all. I just keep seeing Titanic in my mind.
I'll just go where I normally go to when I go on vacation, and that's go to Vegas.
Right.
It's nice though when you go to sleep and then you wake up at a new destination. So you get off the boat during the day. You get off the boat and go visit the towns, or go to the beach, or go. They have a whole list of things you can do every day in each new place. And typically, while you're sleeping, they move to the next spot, which is kind of nice.
Pass.
Yeah, I don't know.
I do want to do the Alaska cruise, though.
Dana, tell me you've at least been to the Upper Peninsula.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Oh, I'm a world traveler, Kevin. I just don't like cruises.
I was worried that you're living in a little bubble of a little 5-mile bubble.
Yes, no. I've been to the Bahamas too, Patrick. Patrick, I did not see any wipes at where you told me, or any paper towels. So we have a situation over here. But I'm sure I'll make it.
Check out my story. Tell them BMAX Censor.
I do want to do the Alaska cruise, so I'll have to figure that out.
Now back to more Paul W. Smith on WJR. Once again substituting, here's Kevin Dietz.
Who knows? Maybe this guy was hungry. A man makes himself a pizza during a robbery in which he steals cash in a delivery car in California. Guys, this guy in Southern California breaks into a pizzeria, and then you see him on surveillance video putting on some gloves and getting the dough out of the refrigerator and flipping the dough up and making himself a pie. After a little while, he decides to steal $500 and finds the keys to one of the delivery cars and takes off. The surveillance video was clear enough to help police find the man, Oscar Sanchez, 25 years old, and he has been arrested and charged with grand theft and grand theft auto. I bring it up just because, some days, you just feel like, you just don't have it all together. You're not having your smartest day ever. Well, you're not alone. Oscar Sanchez making a pizza on surveillance video while robbing the pizza store. Not the smartest criminal in the world. The round table is here. Dave Rieger, Dick Hafner, and Dana Clark.
Or somebody put a file on pizza that he has delivered to jail.
Yeah, I don't know what they're serving at the jail he's currently being held in, but he may have to order his pizzas delivered for a little while.
Mark says he was looking for the wrong dough.
Yeah, he did get away with the dough for a little while. But,
Hey, it happens. You get hungry when you're doing something wrong. Why not?
Right? It's like, I know I came in here to do something. Now, what was I supposed to do? Boy, pizza sounds good.
Squirrel.
I could really go for a slice.
Yeah.
I don't know. The place must not have had alarms, because if you're in there long enough to make a pizza and steal the money and steal a car, you have some time on your hands for sure. Guys, I wanted to ask you about this story I saw about people leaving New York City. Hundreds of thousands of New Yorkers are leaving the Big Apple to escape the pandemic and more. According to the New York Post, nearly 300,000 New York City households have left the city since March, more than double the typical rate. The analysts say that residents are skipping town to escape pandemic restrictions, school concerns, and rising crime in the city. I just wonder if you think that's something we're going to see in all big cities around the country. And do you think it's something we would see in Detroit, or is Detroit a little different when it comes to trying to escape crowded pandemic areas? Dana, what do you think?
Well, I think yes. In areas that are dense and highly populated, I think people are trying to create some space. So I'm not surprised about New York. Parts of Detroit are pretty spread out, but in the city, it is, downtown Detroit, it is clustered together. So I think people are just trying to be smart and do what they can to create some space. They did say social distance, right? Now maybe it's social distancing to different cities.
Yeah,
So,
it's a lot easier if you have some more space to stay away from people than if you're in a very, very crowded area. Dick, have you seen this in other cities? I know I heard earlier, maybe a couple months ago, people were leaving various cities that were having some violent, the heavy protest violence. But I don't know if it's widespread or if this is a New York thing.
It's probably a New York thing. You've got the other complicating factor for New York in that there's always, what I observe from Detroit anyway, always a temptation to leave New York and head across the river to New Jersey for lower taxes. I mean, the tax rate is so high there in the city and in the state of New York. So this it was a pretty good excuse for people who may have been thinking about that already. But in Detroit, I don't think you're not going to see anything like that.
Yeah, the double the rate is what caught my eye in New York City. I don't see people leaving Detroit. Detroit doesn't seem quite as dense as, say, New York or Chicago or San Francisco. Dave, how worried do you get when you're in a big crowd? Dave, would it be enough to make you move if you felt you were crowded?
I don't think so. My question is what Ron said. Where are they going?
They're going on the cruise ship with Dana. They're jumping on a cruise. Hitting the high seas.
Where are we going to hide from this?
Where are these 300? Canada. I don't know.
Yeah, there you go.
Someplace. Hey. All right, you're listening to the Paul W. Smith Show this morning. We'll be back with much more. We'll just take a quick break to check on weather and traffic with Dana Clark.
This report is sponsored by Compassion International.
We're all feeling the weight of COVID-19, but for kids in poverty this Christmas, things are desperate. Bring joy to a child when you make your special year-end gift to Compassion International. Just text GIFT to 83393. That's GIFT to 83393.
Traffic First also sponsored by Gordon Chevrolet. Gordon Chevrolet has Black Friday deals all month long, Cyber Cash, a lease pull-ahead program with up to $1,500 in loyalty bonus cash, and leases starting under $200 a month, extended hours, Black Friday, Saturday, and Monday. Ford Road, just west of Merriman in Garden City, GordonChevrolet.com. Gordon Chevrolet, find new roads. Disabled vehicle in St. Clair County along I-69 westbound after M19. It is blocking the right shoulder. Now, WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel, sponsored by TruTech Concrete Coatings. You've heard of Rhino Shield. Now, Mark and Cheryl bring you TruTech Concrete Coatings. Make your basement, garage doors, porch, or patio beautiful in one day. 4 times stronger than epoxy, 15-year warranty, and antibacterial. Call today to get your project done before the holidays. 810-487-8832. Light dusting of snow outside as you head out in some areas. Rain snow mix this morning, then mostly cloudy this afternoon, a high of 37. Tonight, clear to partly cloudy, low in the 20s, 25. On Wednesday, hump day, except for a few afternoon clouds, mainly sunny. That will be a nice treat, and a high of 44. Cloudy skies, 34 degrees. I'm Dana Clark, WJR News with Dick Hafner in 2 minutes.
At Beaumont Employer Services, we're committed.
So did you go up north, Kevin? Or did you watch the Masters? Is that?
No, I ended up staying in town and watching some golf. I haven't actually heard back from my buddy if he. I don't think he hunts with a gun. I think he hunts with like a camera. Like I think he just walks around and takes it in.
Yeah.
I don't think he actually hunts, but I think he likes to go up and eat good food and
just get a change of scenery.
Yeah. I can understand
That's always
that, but
nice.
my only problem is if you have, you fear the cruise. I just fear I don't want to wander around in the 1 month or whatever 2-week period where everybody has a license to be shooting.
True.
It's
True. They may mistake you for something else.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't feel I look much like a deer, but
But
I don't want to find out the hard way either.
After so many hours of sitting out there, everything probably starts to look a little funny.
Exactly.
Did you see that game last night? Wasn't it Drew Brees who got his ribs cracked? And
I read that. Was that Sunday or was that?
Sunday, yeah.
Oh, that was Sunday. Oh, okay.
I read that he took a beating.
Yeah. He's got cracked ribs on both sides and a collapsed lung.
So he can't breathe, basically.
So he's out for about 3 weeks. Yeah.
I'm surprised those guys just keep going and going and going. Even Stafford has had a broken back.
Yeah.
He's got probably a dozen concussions. Tom Brady. Those guys have been around a long time as quarterbacks.
Nick Foles got taken out at the very end of last night's game on a cart. It looks pretty bad. So the Bears will have to go back to Mitchell Trubisky then.
And more than 8,000 total deaths.
A lot of injuries this year in the NFL, in addition to COVID cases.
Kilgore at Henry Ford Hospital, where part of the trial was conducted, says.
But college football is still on, right?
Some of it.
For now, yeah.
Yeah, they had a lot of cancellations last week.
Morning, Bob. Thank you. Trying to get in the red spirit of the holiday, I guess. Who's putting their tree up early?
We're not.
But you got your lights out.
Yes, we got the lights out. We put the tree. It's like a battle. I mean, we'd have ours up before Halloween if I didn't stop my wife.
Put your foot down.
Yeah, so at least got to be the day after Thanksgiving.
Yeah, you too, Dave.
But I love it once it's up.
Well, I celebrate Hanukkah.
Oh, okay. So no tree.
So no tree, but my brother, my niece's birthday's on Christmas. She was born on Christmas.
Okay.
And so they do put up a tree, and my other brother in California, they also put up a tree.
Mm-hmm.
So I sometimes will help them, that's great. But with the restrictions that are now in place, I don't know how often I'll be over there.
While many suits have been dismissed.
Hey Dave, on this after this next break, there's a script, Blue Cross Blue Shield script. I read that after weather.
I'll find out for you.
Allowing voters to cure their ballots. Jessica Rosenthal.
It's Danielle.
The Michigan Court of Appeals rejecting an appeal of a lower court rejection.
So who's coming up on the show today, Kevin? That's interesting.
It's a big secret.
It's big. Have to stay tuned, right?
Yes, Kevin. Yes, you do. You read it right after.
Maybe Dave will tell me. Dave, who's coming up on the show today? That's interesting. Kevin says it's a big secret.
Big secret. Not sure.
A lot of good guests today.
Yeah.
employee was
Matt Patricia's coming.
Matt Patricia will be on.
was racing depicting Kamala Harris.
You'll like this Zanelle Brown, Dana. She's been the court administrator of Wayne County's third court, which is the busiest court in America. But she's written this new book called Coffee and Conversations, Inclusion and Belonging. And it talks about how, and I don't know, it came out before like this summer, but it talks about instead of protesting and marching, sitting down and having coffee with people who you don't understand and getting to know each other.
That's a great idea.
She's an interesting lady.
That's a great idea.
Paul is coming on to talk about hurricanes.
Oh yeah, that one. It's pretty bad.
Iota hit this morning.
We're going to have a Fox News correspondent talk about the new Moderno vaccine.
Yes, when are we going to get cured?
Now, so once you get these 2 inoculations, is that it? Or is it like the flu, you have to get it every year? That's my question. Is it just 2 and done or 2 every year?
I don't know.
I think it depends. What happens is they have to see what's still around next year. So if they think it's still floating around, then you'd have to get it again, like the flu. But the flu shot isn't the same flu shot every year. We just call it the flu shot. It changes every year. So next year it might be COVID-20 instead of COVID-19.
True. Yeah.
So different strains. Because the flu shot's not a vaccine. It doesn't necessarily prevent you getting the flu. It kind of helps sometimes, right? Some years are better than others.
Well, they talk about that being 50% effective and this being 90% effective.
Well, that's why I don't get the flu shot, because to me that's not high enough odds.
A coin toss isn't good enough.
Right. No, but the COVID, if it's 95%, I would get it.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll ask next doctor we get on. We'll ask them if you have to take it all the time.
The flu shot's very important to get. They're really pushing the flu shot.
Well, wouldn't less people get the flu if we're staying in? If we're not out?
I don't know. Well, I think we can see that enough people are out. So
true. We're not listening. So.
Right. Obviously. So, but everybody said that, because I am with you. I don't necessarily believe in the flu shot either. But I did go and get a flu shot.
You did?
Because everybody said get a flu shot.
Yeah.
Hi, folks. Craig Hubble, General Manager at Crestview Cadillac in Rochester. This is the month I want you to be driving a new.
Where did you go? To Walgreens or
to Kroger?
It's really easy to get them.
Somebody at Kroger.
What's that?
Somebody at Kroger to give you a shot.
It's funny. I'm friends with the pharmacist at Kroger.
Every day, and you'll always get a Cadillac loaner here.
He's
CSI Rochester Road or at Crestview Cadillac.
Give me a flu shot. So there you go.
From the great voice of the Great Lakes, this is Paul W. Smith on WJR with Kevin Dietz filling in for Paul.
Good morning. It is 6:06 on this Tuesday morning. It is November the 17th. A little dusting of snow to deal with today. Not too bad. Mostly just come off with hitting your windshield wipers and push it away. But a little reminder that winter is here and around the corner. The roundtable is assembled this morning, and we're all here and happy to be here, right? Dave Rieger is in for Ann Thomas. Good morning, Dave.
Morning, Kevin. How are you?
I'm doing great. Dana Clark, happy Tuesday.
It's almost hump day.
Almost. We're one day away. One day away. We're almost there. Dick Hafner is following the news for us. Dick, how are you?
Good morning.
Good morning to you. The snow, does it make you guys think of your holiday decorations? Is it a little too early? Can you decorate outside but not inside? Dana, how does holiday decorating work? Does it work on the calendar? Does it work on the weather? Does it work on your mood?
That's a good one. It usually works on the calendar. Yeah, I usually wait until after Thanksgiving, maybe that weekend to start. I have like a 3-step process. I don't do it all in one day. I kind of stretch it out, like bring some out a little at a time. And then by usually early December, we go get a tree. We get a real tree each year. So try to get that like early December because, you have to make it last. Can't get it too early. It'll dry out and have needles everywhere. And then I wait probably to the last possible minute to do outside, which that should be first. But So finally, I got to do outside. So that's my little process.
We start talking about Christmas decorations before Halloween, and usually I'm talking about the outside because I want to get the lights on up and outside while it's warm. I do not want to deal with any cold weather and outdoor lighting, but inside I really do not like to see Christmas trees and decorations up until after Thanksgiving's over. I like to get Halloween out of the way, get Thanksgiving out of the way, and then it's fair game. But I like to keep them up really late. I would keep them all the way through February if I could. But no, they come down. They come down in our house 2 days after, January 2nd. Out. That's it. It's over. It's time to move on. Dave Rieger, what happens at your house at the holidays?
Well, I don't really. I celebrate Hanukkah. So I don't have to deal with many decorations at all. But if I did, I would definitely have to put out the lights early when it was nice and warm. I agree with you, Kevin. My question is do you have that one house in the neighborhood that goes all out and that you try to beat and have more decorations or more inflatables or be brighter or or put on more of a show? Because you always have that one house in the neighborhood that goes crazy.
That sounds like Dick Hafner's house. Dick, is that what's going on over at your house?
That's not my house. We do have our stuff all up. We did it during the warm weather. Figured. Remember a couple of weeks ago we really had that. Well, we got into the Christmas spirit, even though it was 70 outside. And but 4 houses down, we have the neighborhood showplace, and they've got all their stuff out now. I don't believe they have it all lit yet. They're holding off for some reason. But I know once they put all the plugs in, it's going to illuminate the entire street.
Yeah, we don't have anyone in the neighborhood who goes crazy, but right across the street we have a family, and they have 3 little girls, and they put up quite a few lights, and they once they see me out there, because I'm early, I get out there early, and then the little girls are just tugging on Dad over there across the street, like, it's time to put the lights out. It's time to put the lights out. He's like, could you just slow your roll a little? I just have like this one little string of lights, and he has to put up more elaborate stuff. But they went all out for Halloween, and I like it when people do that. I'll drive out of my way to go see somebody else's Halloween decorations and someone else's Christmas decorations or lights, whatever. And but I've never I've never done it myself. I don't think I have the talent to. That would be a disaster, I think, at my house.
Isn't that funny when you haven't noticed someone's house before until you see the Christmas lights? I was riding down the block and I looked and the house was lit up, and I thought, I never noticed that house before. Now I see it because it has the lights. So it does kind of get your attention when someone decorates.
Yeah. No, I'm with you, Kevin. Let somebody else do it.
Let someone else do it, exactly. Although I'm not going to be the person who pays a company to come in and do the lights either. Yeah. I checked on that one time because they do such a nice job. It looks so great, And I called one time and they were like, it's $1,500 or something, or
whoa,
it was like over $1,000, and they're like, but that's just the first year because we buy all those lights and then we store those lights for you. Then the next time around, it's less than. I'm like, well, how much less? They're like, oh, well, it's only $1,200 the second time around. I'm like, all right, whatever it is, whatever the cost is, it can be pricey to have someone else do it for you, for sure. But a lot of people out and about getting their holiday decorations, getting ready for Thanksgiving.
Stores over the weekend were very busy with Christmas decorations and all kinds of Christmas stuff.
I've been starting to see a few Facebook posts of the shelves are out of this and out of that, and I think people are starting to stock up either because of the new concerns about COVID, the holidays, the long winter, a variety of things. But the stores have been busy, and I was talking to one clerk that said they were seeing just multiple shoppers come in with people dragging 2 carts, and the bill being up in the hundreds per person. So clearly people stocking up for Thanksgiving and COVID and the holidays. So you guys, if you haven't got out there yet, you might want to hurry, or you might be you might have to go on a cruise if you want to have Thanksgiving dinner, Dana. All right, you're listening to the Paul W. Smith Show. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back with much more. Let's check traffic and weather with Dana Clark.
This report is sponsored by Compassion International.
We're all feeling the weight of COVID-19, but for kids in poverty this Christmas, things are desperate. Bring joy to a child when you make your special year-end gift to Compassion International. Just text GIFT to 83393. That's GIFT to 83393.
Still accident-free, Kevin. No major delays. Well, there is a delay just for trucks. 30-minute delay across the Blue Water Bridge westbound between Canada and the U.S. That disabled vehicle still there in St. Clair County, I-69 westbound after M19. It is blocking the right shoulder. Now, WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel, sponsored by Ryba's Fudge Shop. Make Ryba's your one-stop shop for all your business and corporate gifts. Appreciate, thank, and impress your clients, employees, colleagues, vendors, and loved ones with a gift box of creamy, delicious Mackinac Island fudge. Visit ryba.com to complete your shopping today.
Mix of cloud and clear sky this morning. Gusty northwest breeze adding a little chill to the air this afternoon. Not going much higher than the upper 30s with that northwest breeze continuing. Tonight, some clouds early. Then the sky will be cleared later, 25. Suburbs colder. Wednesday, sunny, low 40s, but 60-degree weather could return as soon as Thursday. From a Weather Channel, meteorologist Ray Staging on News Talk 760 WJR.
Hey, this year we've all been taking actions to keep ourselves and our loved ones healthy, like wearing a face covering and minimizing contact with others whenever we're out in public. And now that flu season is upon us, my friends at Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan want to remind everyone that there's never been a more important time to get the flu shot. It's smart, safe, and simple way to protect yourself as well as everyone around you. By keeping people healthy from seasonal illnesses like the flu, we can reduce the strain placed on healthcare resources and allow healthcare workers to continue to focus their efforts in the fight against COVID-19. So this flu season, give it a shot. You can get one at your doctor's office or a participating pharmacy. There are also may be additional resources available within your community or through your place of employment. Plus, if you're a Blue Cross or Blue Care Network member, you can get a flu shot at no cost. So help do your part in keeping everyone in Michigan healthy and give it a shot. Learn more at bcbsm.com/preventflu.
Hey, Michigan, online sports betting is almost here. But wait, if you register your account early,
You know, one thing you were talking about earlier with the Christmas lights. So obviously back in the day they had the regular lights that would always go out, and if one light went out, the whole strand would go out. So now it's easier with the LEDs, right? Now you don't have these problems, right?
Yeah, for sure. But I don't know. It's so funny. So these lights. It's like every year the outside lights never seem to stay. Like you take them down, you put them away, and somehow over the year the wires get crinkled or something. It seems like you're almost purchasing new stuff every year.
I also don't know if I would have to go with an artificial tree if I was going to do it. One of those ones that would like change colors or plug them in. Not to have to deal with the needles or the tree having to have enough water to survive. I don't know. I know a lot of people, that's a big tradition, going and cutting down the tree and
Yeah, when the kids were little, we always did the real tree, and then we kind of stopped that. And I prefer the fake one because it just looks better. We've had years where you get a tree and it dries out, and you have to go get a second tree if you get them too early. But sometimes we'll actually get a live tree and just put it outside where it's no problem if it's a mess. You'll just put it like out the window and decorate it with lights out the window. I don't know. It's a lot, but it's nice because if you're set up right after Thanksgiving, you got all of December and a little bit of January. It can be kind of nice.
Well, Christmas is definitely going to be different this year, so it should be very interesting to see what happens. When I used to work with my old talk show host who used to do a show here before.
We hired everyone from accountants, project managers to field scientists.
And now you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. At ZipRecruiter.com.
You're going to stay with me here, right?
At ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Now back to more Paul W. Smith on WJR. Once again substituting, here's Kevin Dietz.
All right, it is 6:18 in the morning on this Tuesday. It is November the 17th. Thanks for joining us on WJR 760 AM, where Detroit comes to talk. We're going to talk for the next few minutes with Dave Rieger, and we're going to talk a little bit of football. I have one of those strange but true crimes for you, Dave. I don't know if you heard this. Maybe you did, but all charges were dropped against former New York Giants first-round pick DeAndre Baker on Monday. I don't know if you heard of him or this story, but the Giants cut the 23-year-old cornerback in September following his offseason arrest for allegedly participating in an armed robbery at a house party in Florida. But listen to this. On Monday, an attorney representing 3 of the 4 alleged victims in the case was arrested in Florida on extortion charges. Investigators say the attorney, William Dean, wanted Baker to pay his clients $266,000 each. In exchange, they would stop cooperating with the police or change their initial sworn statements, according to the New York Daily News. Dean told Baker's attorneys his clients would do anything you want so long as the money's right, per the report. And after Dean was arrested, the Broward State Attorney's Office told reporters that all the charges against Baker were being dropped. And now he's able to play again and able to come back, but he missed an entire year of football with all of this. And I just wonder, as you look at this, Dave, if you think that athletes are targets of people, do people see them as dollar signs and go after them? Is this an example of that, or is this one of those examples where a player was out at a party and maybe should have recognized the danger signs and said, you know what, this is a bad place for me to be, or I might become a target?
I don't know. You seem to see this a lot with athletes. They come out of college and they sign these big contracts, and then they still have their old friends that sometimes try to take advantage of them. They get them into situations. There's an old saying that they say in football that nothing good ever happens after 2 a.m. So you see this a lot with athletes that they run into problems, either money issues, legal issues, stuff like that. And I think that they definitely are targets. And I think that you have to really be aware, or probably a little bit extra aware, when you're an athlete who's coming to big money and become popular, because you're probably a target to get taken advantage of.
Yeah, the NBA draft is this week, for instance, and there's going to be all of these young kids stepping up on the stage, and there's going to be a lot of excitement, but there's also going to be a big paycheck. They're all going to be instant millionaires, all of the people picked in the first round anyway, and whether it's their friends that they hang out with, or their family members, or just strangers out in the TV world watching, saying, this young person has an awful lot of money. How can I get some of it?
I think representation is an important part when you're choosing an agent, or whether you're choosing someone to handle your finances, because I think that it's really important. You can be taken advantage of very easily, especially if you're signing these big contracts with these big signing bonuses.
Yeah, you need somebody that you can trust too. You can't do it all. You can't manage all of this stuff. You have to learn your sport and learn your craft, and in basketball case, be in the gym or be on the field if it's football, what have you. But you need to figure out who you can trust and what you need to be doing. But to have some family around to advise you, like you said, nothing good happens after 2, maybe after midnight even.
Right.
You're an athlete, get some sleep.
Exactly.
But I do think, I do think like this, and I don't know all the details of what happened with this cornerback down from the New York Giants, this DeAndre Baker. It sounds like he was, at this house party. But clearly his attorney said, we told you from the beginning he was set up. This did not go down the way it was reported. But it wouldn't be that difficult for people to get together and say, hey, let's figure out a way to extort somebody.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's and then you see a lot of these athletes, they get suspended for a year, and then they come back again, and they redeem themselves after being in some trouble. So I think that he'll probably have a second chance, and some team will give him a second chance to come back and hopefully continue his career.
Yeah, he had a big first year, and then his second year was derailed by all of this. And I think you're right. I also wonder, like, if he could sue for compensation. Like, I lost this much money by not being allowed to play in my second year. If he could go after the people who came up with this scheme, or go after the lawyer and try and sue him for money out. I don't know if you could collect, but I do think that.
Yeah, I mean, you could try. I don't know. I agree with you. I'm not sure if he would be able to collect anything. I don't think that he'll be going back to the New York Giants, but he may show up on another team.
Yeah. So what happened with Drew Brees? I just read that he had cracked some ribs and took a hit. What happened with Drew Brees?
He got knocked out of the game. Apparently, he has broken ribs on both sides and a collapsed lung. So he'll be out for I think they said at least 3 weeks.
He had gotten the best of Tom Brady, right? In their matchup.
He did, and the Saints were playing well. The Saints were doing really well. So that's a big hit to them. I don't know who they're going to bring as quarterback now.
Does it surprise you that these guys who are in the league for a long time, Drew Brees, Matt Stafford here in Detroit, was it last season he had a broken back? And I know we hear about concussions. I know at one point people were talking about Tom Brady, how many concussions he had, and should he retire? And Stafford's had his share, and I'm sure Drew Brees has as well. Does it surprise you after these guys have been in the league for so long, and obviously money's not an issue anymore, that they don't get more concerned about some injury that'll last a long time?
No, I don't think they're worried about that. I don't think you can worry about getting injured, because if you're going to get worried about injury, you're not going to play at 100%. So there have been a lot of injuries this year, whether it was because there was no preseason or whether it's just because it's 2020, whether it's not because they didn't practice a lot, and they have a lot of socially distanced in these virtual meetings. I'm not sure, but there's just been a rash of injuries like the NFL has never seen before this year. So
I know they were talking about having the option to opt out of the season due to COVID. Did any players take up the league? A lot
of New England Patriots took that option to opt out. So they had the most.
They just skipped out on the entire year.
Yeah, they just said they didn't want to. For whatever reason, they were worried about their family, because the NFL can't be in a bubble like the NBA was or like the NHL was.
Yeah.
So a lot of players were worried about that. But the injuries alone, not having anything to do with COVID. I mean, the NFL has had their COVID issues, but the rash of injuries, ACLs and other injuries, has just been off the charts for whatever reason.
Yeah, I wonder if that's somehow COVID related, though, because they're not able to practice every day, or their schedules are off, or the guy in front of you is a third string backup because the first two have COVID, and somebody's hitting you harder that may not have caught up with you. Very interesting. Dave Rigger, thanks for stepping in. It is 6:26. We're going to take a short break here on the Paul W. Smith Show. Back with much more. Let's check traffic and weather with Dana Clark.
This report is sponsored by Church's. Church's new chicken sandwich is finally here. With almost 70 years in the kitchen, you can bet we put the work in to make it worth it. It's everything you love about Church's. Between two buns. Get it today, just $3.99. Thanks for waiting. Church's, bringing that down-home flavor.
Disabled vehicle still in place in St. Clair County, I-69 westbound after M19. That vehicle is blocking the right shoulder. Slow ride across the Blue Water Bridge, 30-minute backup for trucks traveling westbound between Canada and the U.S. Now, WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel, sponsored by Gordon Chevrolet. Gordon Chevrolet has Black Friday deals all month long. Cyber Cash, a lease pull-ahead program with up to $1,500 in loyalty bonus cash and leases starting under $200 a month. Extended hours, Black Friday, Saturday, and Monday. Ford Road, just west of Merriman in Garden City. GordonChevrolet.com. Gordon Chevrolet, find new roads. Seeing some snow showers, 34 degrees. Later today, it will dry out, becoming mostly cloudy this afternoon, a high of only 37. Tonight, clear to partly cloudy, your low 25. A little bit of a warm up on Wednesday. Afternoon clouds, but mainly sunny, a high of 44 on Thursday. Sunshine and clouds. We hit 59 on Friday, 63. I'm Dana Clark, WJR News with Dick Hafner in 2 minutes.
Need an escape? Then gaze skyward and listen to the Wild Thing podcast as host Laura Krantz searches for extraterrestrial life.
The Pentagon's secret UFO program wasn't the military's first flirtation with this world.
Gaze skyward for season 2 of Wild Thing.
It's truly breathtaking. As a pilot and a former Air Force officer, I can definitively say that this craft did not resemble any man-made object that I'd ever seen.
Listen on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your shows.
WJR and the Chilani Family Foundation have launched Hunger Free in the D, a 3-week matching gift campaign to support the Capuchin Soup Kitchen and Gleaners Community Food Bank. Our goal is to provide 500,000 meals to struggling families during the holidays. And now the Chilani Family Foundation will match up to $200,000.
Now, as we prepare for Thanksgiving, let's help Gleaners and the Capuchin Soup Kitchen make a difference for those less fortunate. This is Dario Bergamo, proud supporter of Hunger Free in the D.
Without
business leaders. Hey, Kev, did you see my note?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm just looking up, find a little story on it or see where we're at.
Okay.
Thank you.
Gleaners is very strong. They help out a lot of people, and I felt it was good that Vicki and I and our foundation get behind the two of them.
Give now. Go to
313-254-4788. That's hungerfreeinthed.com or call 313-254-4788.
Leftover power outages remain scattered all across the area. DTE reports 49,000 homes and businesses are still without power. The crews from DTE and Consumers Energy have been out since the Sunday windstorm. State health officials report 12,763 new cases of the COVID and 55 deaths in a 2-day total in the state of Michigan. Ohio is expected to further tighten its restrictions today.
Effective today in Ohio, new restrictions on weddings. They can continue, but guests must remain seated at all times with masks on unless they are eating or drinking, and dancing and socializing are prohibited. Similar restrictions have been placed on funerals as well, and Governor Mike DeWine is expected to announce more restrictions today, which may include an order closing all non-essential businesses between 10 at night and 6 in the morning, and ordering bars, restaurants, and gyms to close until a surge in coronavirus cases slows down. Jack Callahan, Fox News.
Macomb County Sheriff Anthony Wickersham has tested positive for coronavirus. Joe Biden lays out part of his plan for the economy.
In Wilmington, President-elect Biden giving a preview of what his economic policy may look like with a nod to some issues likely to please progressives in his party.
And I've laid out in detail, for example, the legislation passed by the Democratic House calls for immediate $10,000 forgiveness of student loans, just to making sure that we have access, free education for anyone making under $125,000 for 4 years of college.
Biden is to receive his first national security briefing, but he still does not have access to that presidential daily briefing. Senator Kamala Harris, the vice president-elect, will be there as well. There's a photo spray. We'll see if he has anything to say about it.
That's Fox correspondent Griff Jenkins. The Michigan Court of Appeals has turned down an appeal of a lower court rejection of the latest Trump lawsuit challenging the Wayne County election results. Turmoil in the Farmington School Board. The superintendent, Robert Herrera, resigned at last night's meeting after a school board member, Angie Smith, accused Herrera of racist acts on social media. There were no incidents specified. Herrera filed a complaint against Smith for harassment. 2 other board members, citing disgust at what was happening, also resigned at that meeting. The Waterford woman, Tina Talbot, who killed her husband after years of physical and mental abuse, has been released from prison. Talbot was granted parole this past summer. She was sentenced for voluntary manslaughter. That's what she pleaded guilty to, and got 20 months up to 15 years for the killing of her husband in 2018. WJR News Time 5:32. Bloomfield Hills-based Robertson Home says it's expanding its reach after major home builds in Ferndale and Royal Oak. Now they're planning to build in Hazel Park. They're going to be building 54 three-story townhomes in the area of Woodward Heights, east of John R. That's 9.5 mile. It's the biggest home build in Hazel Park in decades. Besides that, the old Hazel Park racetrack was torn down a couple of years ago, and there's a big new industrial development which is going up on that site at 10 Mile and DeQuinder. World Market Update sponsored by Mother Waddles. Donate your car to Mother Waddles and help the poorest of the poor. Call 313-WADDLES. Overseas markets are mixed. The Dow futures are down about 95. For WJR News, I'm Dick Hafner. More coming up with Kevin Dietz.
Consumers Energy is here to help our small business customers who are struggling during this unprecedented time. Call 800-805-0490 for help with a customized payment plan and to learn about more short-term resources available. Again, call 800-805-0490. Small businesses have come through for Michigan, and Consumers Energy is coming through for small businesses. Learn more at consumersenergy.com/business. You can count on Consumers Energy.
My doctor says I need spine surgery. I'm terrified.
I've tried everything for my bad disc and nothing has helped.
It's led to another. Don't let this happen to you. At the Disc Institute, our sole purpose is to keep you out of surgery by treating the cause, not just your symptoms. Our high-tech, non-invasive treatments are designed to fix your disc and avoid surgery. If your neck, back, or sciatic pain is due to herniated, degenerative, or bulging discs, call today, 586-416-DISC. That's 586-416-3472.
At Beaumont Employer Services, we're committed to keeping Michigan moving forward. We teamed up with Oakland University to ensure students started the semester with confidence, built back-to-work plans with 24/7 support to help keep Big 3 employees on the job, and helped Lear Corporation with COVID-19 testing to bring workers back safely. Beaumont Employer Services has a plan for you, too. Find out how we can be your safety net at beaumontemployerservices.org.
For 60 years, Mesa has delivered exceptional health benefits to Michigan schools and public employees. Mesa believes hardworking people who care for our kids, schools, and communities deserve unmatched health benefits and personal service. Learn more at messa.org.
Warm up with 2 new pizzas at Buddy's. Buffalo chicken pizza with marinated chicken, a hot sauce drizzle, and homemade ranch dressing. And our caramel apple pie pizza baked on Buddy's pizza crust and topped with vanilla ice cream. Buddy's offers curbside carryout, dine-in, and delivery via DoorDash.
George Kleppert here of Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical, reminding you to call us for all your furnace and air conditioning and electrical needs. We also install and service full house natural gas generators, water heaters, and we do a variety of electrical services too. With 3 Metro Detroit locations, we'll service you quickly and professionally. Go online at familyheating.com. Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical. That's familyheating.com.
Now back to more Paul W. Smith on WJR. Once again substituting, here's Kevin Dietz.
Boy, Sunday night the winds were howling and people were losing power left and right. At my son's house in Ferndale, a massive tree came crashing down. Fortunately, it didn't hit the house. It headed the other way, kind of aiming towards the street. But before it could hit any cars or fall into the road, it fell and was leaning against 2 other big trees. But it was in jeopardy of coming down at any moment. He FaceTimed me and said, Dad, what do I do about this? I don't want it to fall and hit someone. I don't want it to fall and hit a car. I don't want it to land in the street as somebody's driving by. And I'm like, I've been reporting for like 30 years in this town, and I'm not exactly sure what to tell you. I ultimately told him to let the fire department know and the police department know, and possibly to call DTE if it was in danger of hitting any wires or anything. For him, the tree stayed up through the night, and he ended up calling a private tree service to come in and cut it down safely and clear it out. No big deal at the end of the day. But it makes you wonder as the storms come through, what you're supposed to do and what DTE is doing and how you can work together to help each other. And join us on the line now to update us on the storm damage that's going on and maybe answer a couple of questions that I wasn't able to answer for my kid. Is Heather Rivard, Senior Vice President of Distribution Operations from DTE. Welcome to the show, Heather.
Thank you, Kevin. Good morning.
How are you?
I'm doing okay. How are you?
Good. You guys have been busy. Why don't you give us an update on what the situation is currently and what it was at its worst?
Yes, at its worst, we had 285,000 of our customers impacted by the winds that you were just describing that came through on mainly Sunday. We have been able to restore power to 236,000 customers, and we have about 49,000 customers who are without power this morning.
That is amazing. Here it's Tuesday morning, very early. The winds came Sunday night. How are you guys able to mobilize to restore power for 236,000 people so quickly?
Yeah, we watch the weather several days in advance, and so when we see a large weather event coming, we make sure we have our crews on property and ready to go before the wind event even hits. And then they start working on the outages right away.
And so how does it happen in real time? Does your phone start ringing? Do you guys get contacted by the police department, or you guys just have your own system to monitor it?
To monitor the weather, we have meteorologists on staff. And in terms of actual hazards or events in the field, we get calls both from customers as well as local police and fire departments. We did have over 2,000 reports of downed wires, mainly caused by trees like you were describing, and we have been able to assess most of them and make sure the situation is safe while we work to clean them up permanently.
And the down wires are really dangerous because those come down and sometimes they're sparking, sometimes they're hot. The advice is just if you see a tree hit a down wire, do you call DTE, your fire department, police, all of the above?
Yeah. If you see any kind of arcing, sparking, or fire, definitely could call the fire department as well. We ask that people always call DT or report it through our mobile app if they have a wire down, and to stay 20 feet away from the wire or anything it's touching, and never assume that it's de-energized. Even wires that are laying there looking safe are not necessarily safe. They aren't always arcing and sparking when they're energized.
Now, do you guys have enough people in the area to handle a storm like the one we saw Sunday? You said 285 customers impacted, or do you guys have crews nearby in other states? Do you call in people from around the state? How do you sort of pre-plan these storms as they come in?
Yeah, as we saw the weather coming in on Sunday, we reach out to a mutual assistance association that we have with the neighboring states, and we ask for assistance even prior to the storm coming in on Sunday. And so we have over 200 linemen from neighboring states and another 250 that are arriving today. There were several outages in states surrounding us as well. So that's why some are coming yet today to assist us. So yes, we have quite a process for working with nearby states to get additional resources in events of this size.
Okay, so 236 are back up and restored, 49,000 to go. When can they hope to be up and running?
We anticipate meeting our goal to have at least 90% of our customers back by the end of the day, and then the vast majority of those who remain by the end of the day tomorrow.
All right. Fantastic effort out there. We appreciate all the crews working around the clock to get our power back on and keep us all up and running. Heather Rivard, thanks for joining us on the Paul W. Smith Show.
Thank you.
All right. Be safe. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with more. Right now, let's check weather and traffic with Dana Clark.
This report is sponsored by MGM Grand Detroit. It's game on at the BetMGM Sports Lounge inside MGM Grand Detroit. Place real money wagers on your favorite sports and watch the games on over 60 HD TVs. Stop by anytime for the best sports betting action in Michigan. Must be 21 or older.
I-69 westbound after M19, disabled vehicle blocks at right shoulder. That's in St. Clair County. 30-minute delay for trucks across the Blue Water Bridge westbound between Canada and the U.S. Now, WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel, sponsored by Must Construction Careers. Earn while you learn in a union apprenticeship and graduate debt-free. We need qualified, motivated individuals to help us build Michigan. Must Construction Careers, Management, and Union serving together. Learn more at mustcareers.org.
Pushed another front through a gusty northwest breeze this morning, making it feel a little chilly out there. Clouds and sunshine through the day and a chilly day. 37 degrees overnight tonight. We'll clear it. Some clouds early, cold, 25. Suburbs a little colder. Sunny tomorrow with highs in the low 40s. Milder by the end of the week. From a Weather Channel meteorologist Ray Stagik on News Talk 760 WJR.
This is Pastor Kent W. Clark at Grace Centers of Hope. $2.05 may not seem like a lot to you, but in a few days, it'll provide a hearty Thanksgiving dinner at Grace Centers of Hope for someone who is homeless. Thanksgiving is a time for friends and families to join together, to be thankful for fellowship and all the blessing God has bestowed. No one should feel neglected or abandoned at this time of year, especially the homeless. This is our season of opportunity to reach out to those who are homeless and hurting, and it starts with a warm meal for just $2.05. For those who can be a little more generous, a gift of $20.50 can feed 10 people, and a gift of $51.25 people.
Did you get all your questions answered there, Kevin?
Yeah, I think so.
Cool.
To make a donation or for more information, call 1-855.
It is kind of weird though. You're like, so you call whatever, you call the fire department, nobody answers. You call the police department, they're like, well, if it's hanging, not much we can do about it. We have a lot of calls coming in, and
Right.
but you're there and you're like, oh my gosh, if this thing fell and hit a car that was driving by, you can't exactly go put cones out in the street, and you got to imagine that same scenario is happening all over everywhere, but it is kind of crazy to see something about to happen and not know what to do.
Yeah. Just got to stay away from that stuff.
Yeah.
Lines.
Yeah, just go in the house and wait it out.
The power outages are frustrating. I don't know what's more frustrating, power outages or traffic jams.
Power outages, because you got to worry more. You got to worry about losing your food and your alarm going off.
I don't know when I'm stuck in a traffic jam though. Yeah, there's nothing worse.
Yeah.
Oh my, there's nothing worse. Oh, so frustrating.
Well, it's got to be better with at least your phones or your games. You get trapped in traffic.
Well, it has been better. It has been better during COVID, when you haven't had as much traffic.
Right.
Although it's still somewhat busy, but it's not as busy as it was.
Right.
It used to be really bad. Not so much anymore. Unfortunately, it's because there's a pandemic going on. So whether or not people will stay at home now for these next 3 weeks, and if it'll get even better.
Right.
To be able to get that and between that and construction, and every road being under construction, and then the orange cones being out, but you never see any workers working. It's just closed down.
Right.
Annoying. They should do like in Vegas. They only work at night.
Really?
Yeah, Vegas usually only has those guys work at night.
That's pretty cool.
So mask up, Michigan. Could be number one for the weather, but it also could be because it's so busy down there.
And spread hope, not COVID. Learn more at michigan.gov/coronavirus. A message from the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services.
New Michelle's is pleased to announce their Thursday and Friday, November 19th and 20th auction. From prominent collectors, including a treasure trove of exquisite art.
But you are right. With the power outages, you have to worry about stuff in the house. Some pumps.
You can have flooding. You can have food go bad. You can just if it goes out in the middle of the night, your alarm clocks. If your phone dies.
Plus, I also like to sleep with my television on, so then that goes off.
Do you? That's a funny conversation. How many people do that? Doesn't that just wake you up all night with the volume changes?
I sometimes I dream about what's going on the television. So that's a little weird.
I know a lot of people. It seems like lately, more and more people.
And I can't do
At
it. I
Beaumont,
can't sleep
we know
anymore with it
change
not
is
on.
constant, but the
Yeah.
only thing that won't change is our commitment to you.
Now back to more Paul W. Smith on WJR. Once again, substituting, here's Kevin Dietz.
Yeah, people all across Metro Detroit are making plans for Thanksgiving. As we all know now, restaurants are going to be closed because of COVID-19, but families will be making their feasts, and it's a good time to think about the less fortunate. WJR Cares $2.05 Meal and Hope initiative is underway with the Grace Centers of Hope. And join us on the line to talk a little bit about this is our friend Pastor Kent Clark. Pastor, thanks for being on the Paul W. Smith Show.
Thank you, Kevin. It's a joy to be here.
It's a joy to have you here as well. It's a joyous time. I know people are thinking about their families right now, and with COVID-19 this year, it's more difficult as some families are going to be separated and isolated, and we're doing little extra things to make Thanksgiving nice for our families, and here's really an opportunity to make Thanksgiving nice for the less fortunate. And I love the name of this program because it pretty much spells it out. The $2.05 Meal and Hope initiative. Tell us a little bit about it and the work you guys are doing at Grace Centers of Hope.
Well, Kevin, as your listeners know, Grace Centers of Hope is the oldest, largest homeless center in the state of Michigan. We served 188,943 meals last year. And this is an exceptional year with the COVID thing going on. We're just seeing more people come to us, more problems in society. And so we have this $2.05 help us provide those meals. So I'd like to encourage listeners today to call. This morning, we have people there at the center to take your call, make your donation. If you can buy 10 meals or 20 meals, that would be absolutely wonderful and help us get through this very critical time of the year.
188,943 meals. It's really an indication of just how many people in the area are struggling and need a little help, and how important it is for really all of us to take on some of the responsibility of helping out here. Tell us what it's like for those who are able to come in and get a meal.
Well, we have a wonderful. This is kind of the most important time of the year, Thanksgiving and Christmas, when we have more people coming to us that can't be with family, and especially with COVID now, to have just a great Thanksgiving meal with turkey and dressing and all the trimmings and a lot of smiles and laughter and people who care about them. So we especially need help at this time of the year in helping the homeless. Probably 90% of them have been addicted to drugs and or alcohol. We provide a wonderful program there of taking them from homelessness actually to home ownership. It's just a great program of getting people back into the mainstream and helping them to get their lives back.
I saw a story on the news last night about a Texas food bank that was had collected money to get turkeys for people, and cars were lined up for miles. People were waiting in lines. It seems the need this year is greater than ever. I know, with the first wave of COVID and the shutdowns that took place, there was some stimulus money and people were getting by, but it was tougher than usual. And now with the second wave and the second shutdowns coming at midnight tonight, and right now no stimulus money coming, there's going to be more need than ever before. And it just seems like we're all going to have to do a little more. Do you guys have opportunities to volunteer at Grace Center Hope?
Well, we do indeed. And, we receive no government funding. And so it's the American people helping people is what we say. And the American people are the most giving people in the world, and volunteering when they have opportunity. Of course, COVID has kind of closed the door on that for a while. But we're going to get past COVID. And, of course, volunteers are our heroes, people helping people. We'd be glad to give you information about that if you'll call. I have a number. May I give that number?
Please, please.
Okay. The number to call, and I hope you will, it's 248-334-2187. That's 248-334-2187. Or, of course, you can go online to www.gracecentersofhope.org.
Now, you guys have donations, guys, but you also have special events. Are you going to be able to have your special events this year with COVID, or are you out there as well?
Well, special events, for the most part, have been canceled. They're online, and I'm glad you asked that. Our Night of Hope event will be this coming Thursday at 7 p.m. We're asking people to please register at gracecentersofhope.org for the special event program and support our Hands of Hope daycare and our children's program.
Yeah, when you're helping feed 200,000 meals, you can't just have an event, shut down. And a lot of charities are going through this, but it's important to, we're not going to be gathering together, but to go online for the virtual event and donate and participate and be a part of it, because it's just so important to so many people here.
Well, it is important. It's been one of our biggest events of the year. So, we're doing our best to make that event as great as it can be virtually. And we hope to see many people joining us for the silent auction and bidding on those things and helping Grace Centers of Hope make it through this tough time.
Yeah, I know in the past it's been at the Townsend Hotel. Tickets are, like over $100 because you're generating money to help feed people. This year, if you haven't been, you can go. You can just go online and you can see how you can help in a big way or a small way. And again, it's $2.05 to provide that one meal. So we want to get as many people to come online at gracecentersofhope.org and to call the phone number 248-334-2187 and participate in this program. Pastor Ken Clark, thanks for coming on the Paul W. Smith Show this morning. Good luck Thursday night with the event, and we'll continue to tell our friends, and put it online here at WJR.
Thank you, Kevin, so much.
All right. God bless. You are listening to the Paul W. Smith Show. We have much more coming up. We're going to take a quick little break here and check in with traffic and weather with Dana Clark.
This report is sponsored by Compassion International.
We're all feeling the weight of COVID-19, but for kids in poverty this Christmas, things are desperate. Bring joy to a child when you make your special year-end gift to Compassion International. Just text GIFT to 83393. That's GIFT to 83393.
Kevin, looking at a closure in Heartland due to an accident, US 23 southbound between M59 and I-96. It is closed there, multi-vehicle crash. You can take old US 23 southbound to Spencer westbound. That will get you back to 96 eastbound. Seeing delays from at least Clyde Road. Also an accident in Grand Blanc Township, 75 northbound at Dixie Highway, blocking your two left lanes. Now, WJR weather first from the Weather Channel. Expecting these snow flurries to stick around for at least the morning. This afternoon, cold and cloudy, a high of 37, almost at the high already. Tonight, clear to partly cloudy, low 25. Start a bit of a warm up on Wednesday through the rest of the week. Wednesday, afternoon clouds, but mainly sunny, a high of 44. Sunshine and clouds on Thursday, 59. And then on Friday, partly cloudy and a high of 63. Snow flurries in some spots, cloudy conditions, 34 degrees. I'm Dana Clark, WJR News with Dick Hafner in about 3 minutes.
McLaren Health Plan is here for you. We're helping you get through today's challenges by keeping your family healthy with free flu shots and virtual. McLaren Health Plan. It's the right plan for right now.
Dell Technologies just announced their Black Friday sale. They're releasing new doorbusters every weekday.
Kev, with Thanksgiving coming up,
cutting-edge tech for your business.
do you do the traditional Thanksgiving meal, or do you have alternatives or different types of sides?
We typically we have a big family, and we typically all go out, and we have about 30 people, and we get together, and so that is out this year. We will not be doing that. My parents, and I have 6 brothers and sisters and spouses, and everybody gets together. It's a huge event, and so now everybody's going to be on their own this year. And I don't know if we'll try and do the Zoom thing. We did that at Easter. We tried to Zoom everybody in. It was fairly ridiculous effort, as some people are better than others at the Zoom. But anyway, so we're going to have a much quieter Thanksgiving than usual. How about you?
I'll be here at the radio station working the Lions game.
Oh, okay. All right. Do you do that every year?
Most Thanksgiving is since I was put on Lions duty. So yeah.
Do you like doing that?
Yeah. It's fun.
Yeah. When I was in high school, we used to catch the Lions game and then come back for Thanksgiving dinner. In college too, a little bit. As we got older, though, we started watching it on TV and gathering.
I'm interested to see how the virtual parade is going to go.
Yeah, I don't know. It'll go the exact same it goes for me every year. I imagine I'll have coffee and pajamas and slippers and turn it on.
Go down there with your family and go.
I've been down twice, and it's cool. It's fun, to see the kids' faces. But it's cold and crowded, and it's nice on Thanksgiving to watch the parade, watch the game. I've also been to the turkey trot a couple of times, and that's fun too. It's like you're either out and about or you're in and locked down. I've enjoyed either way, but this year it'll be warm and cozy.
I also like that the NFL has added a night game on Thanksgiving night. So you got the Lions game, then you usually have the Cowboys game, and then you have a Sunday night game, or I should say a Thursday night game after that. So I think that's really cool that they added that in a couple of years back.
Yeah. So how many games are there now?
So 3.
Good morning,
3.
Danielle.
So you got Detroit all the time, Dallas all the time, and then is the third one completely?
The third game.
The third game's a good game.
Right. So
who do the Lions have this year?
Lions have the Houston Texans coming into Ford Field on Thanksgiving this year.
All right.
So another team that's going through some changes. The team that lost their head coach that got fired earlier this year. So he was their head coach and general manager both. So,
but for who do we have this Sunday?
This Sunday we have the Carolina Panthers.
That's right.
In Carolina with no Christian McCaffrey and potentially no quarterback because Teddy Bridgewater has some knee inflammation.
Are the Lions fairly healthy?
Yeah, they are. Except for Galladay. Their offensive line's a little beat up, but
he was having a year, wasn't he, Galladay?
It's really good. Yeah, the Lions have some really good receivers. I mean, between Marvin Jones and Marvin Hall and Kenny Galladay and T.J. Hawkinson has turned out to be.
Yeah, I love those big tight ends.
The tight end from last year.
Kids from the Big Ten, they're tough. They're good blockers.
Yeah, so Stafford's got some weapons, and DeAndre Swift is really good.
Yeah, interesting. He's really fast. He's not that big. He's kind of small, and I'm not sure if he was in full time all the time, if he'd be as effective. I kind of like him switching off, in and out.
Right. A lot of NFL teams do that now. It is a nightmare for fantasy owners
Right.
Try to deal with running backs in fantasy football.
So do you just pick the big guy who barrels in from the 2? Is that kind of the secret?
You never know. You never know who's going to get the ball. I mean, it seems like every team has like 3 running backs that they just switch in and out. So it just makes it tough to try to field the team, to know who's going to have the hot hand.
Now, the leagues you're in, do you guys have a kicker as well?
Yeah, we have kicker, special teams, we have a flex player, we have a defense, we have 2 receivers, 2 running backs, and a quarterback. And the flex player can be either a receiver, a running back, or a tight end.
Okay.
So,
and do you get penalized for missed field goals, or do you just get the makes and how long they are?
It depends on how the scoring goes, but usually missed field goals, fumbles, turnovers go against your defense.
I was in a league a couple of years ago, and they had the rules, and then whoever the operator was decided to change the rules, and it actually took wins off the board after they changed the rules. I'm like, what's that?
How can you change the rules in the middle of the season?
I don't know.
I would have my money back.
These are the kind of leagues I end up in. Last minute.
You need to come into one of our leagues where we don't change the rules halfway through the season.
Yeah, I'll have to do that next year. I really I enjoy it, but you have to be committed to it, because if you don't make those changes every week and get those trades and all that stuff, you will lose. You have to be in it to win it.
Oh yeah, and this year's been tougher because of COVID.
Right.
So it's been rough. This has been the toughest year of fantasy football.
So who are the first players off the board?
Oh, the normal first players are Patrick Mahomes, the Lamar Jackson.
Always quarterbacks.
There were some running backs that went early. Big receivers, DeAndre Hopkins.
I won my league. It was like a 10-person league. It was not, but I won my league when I took Ezekiel Elliott, and he was hurt, and he didn't play the first 2-3 games.
Yeah,
and I lost the first 2 games, and he came back big, and I ended up just squeaking into the playoffs and winning the thing. But it's fun.
The biggest pet peeve that I have is you have some commissioners that make the championship week 17 when the championship game should be week 16.
Yeah.
Because in the NFL, week 17, a lot of teams that have already clinched their playoff spots will sit their starters.
Right.
So you have to have the championship game a week early where it means something. So that's my biggest pet peeve with when it comes to fantasy football.
Right.
It's tough just because of COVID, changing of schedules, changing of games, changing of who's available, who's not available. So, all right, your guest is calling in.
All right.
Okay.
Our love of cleanliness wherever we go. Let's design a plan today.
Call New Image Building Services at 586-465-4420 or visit newimagebldg.com.
Listen. In the empty stadiums, in the empty schools, in the empty theaters, you can hear it. Hope is setting the stage for our comeback. Because hope is a powerful thing. It can bring us together and be the bridge that helps us to get to the other side. When each of life's victories is a little sweeter, we will celebrate how far we've come and learn that all we did, the hand washing, the social distancing, the mask wearing, we did for each other. Don't lose hope, Michigan. Not now. Spread hope, not COVID. See how at michigan.gov/coronavirus. A message from the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services.
Now back to more Paul W. Smith on WJR. Once again substituting, here's Kevin Dietz.
The Lions got a big win Sunday on a big kick from their field goal kicker with the big leg, Matt Prater. He bombed one. It was 58 or 59 yards with just seconds on the clock. A walk-off win against the Washington football team. Here to talk about the big win and what's next is head coach Matt Patricia and our own Steve Courtney.
All right, Kev. Appreciate it. Yes, indeed. 2 days after the fact, still relishing that 30-27 Lions win. A lot of moving parts, a lot to unpack. Let's start it right now with the good coach himself. How are you, sir?
Doing great. Hopefully everybody's doing well.
All right. Obviously, Coach, on that game-winning drive, everything had to go the right way. After the roughing the passer call against Chase Young, 1st and 10 midfield, 6 seconds left. We've seen the combination before. Stafford to Marvin Jones. He goes down. Matt Prater does the rest. Question here is, on that 59-yarder, Coach, are you the type to actually watch the kick, or do you look elsewhere?
That's a great question. Sometimes, yeah, I can go either way with that one. I think on that one I actually watched. So that's a great question right there.
Well, you know what? There's a lot to hang your hat on in retrospect. We have DeAndre Swift making his first National Football League start. He makes the most of it. 16 carries, 81 yards, 5 receptions, Coach, an additional 68 yards to go along with a score. He becomes the first Lions running back since Billy Sims, pretty darn good company, back in 1980 to have at least 80 yards on the ground, 60 yards receiving. Pretty good performance.
Yeah, I thought he did a great job of coming out and just, really showing his ability to play in space. And I thought he played physical. That was great to see, just his ability to, get some tough yardage, find some of those creases inside that were pretty small. He kind of got through and turned them into some explosive runs. And, just thought he had a great energy out there on the field. So that was good to see.
Well, and I certainly hope he's considering buying the O-line dinner at the very least, because, Coach, this Lions offensive line proving to be a pretty special group against this vaunted Washington front seven. They allow 1 sack, 1 quarterback hit, 2 tackles for loss. Washington had 27 sacks coming in. Job well done.
Yeah, I thought those guys played really well up front. I mean, it was a big challenge this week. We knew that Washington has a great front, and I think those guys worked really hard all week just to make sure they were very clean with their communication in the protections and in the run game, and that we had everything kind of, in the positions that we needed it, and just thought those guys went out and executed really well.
I know you're very happy with, for the most part, with the exception of a little slide there, defensively, stopping the run. Antonio Gibson and company, just 89 yards combined, not to mention during the course of the tilt, Coach, Romeo Okwara, he is showing up, his 6th sack of the season. Everson Griffin, he gets his first sack as a Lion, not to mention 5 quarterback hits. Very active day.
Yeah, I thought those guys did a great job. Really in that first series, Washington was driving the ball a little bit, got down into kind of the fringe red area, and I thought Everson did a great job on the reverse, kind of gave us a negative play there, and then Romeo with the sack on the back-to-back plays kind of knocked them out of field goal range. I thought that was a really good series to get things going, and played well against the run, throughout the entire game. Obviously a couple series in the second half that we weren't real happy with, but, we'll clean those up. But, other than that, I thought those guys up front, they really tried to play hard.
You made mention of something yesterday, Coach, during the Zoom call, and let's talk about it here. You can learn when you play well. Interesting, when you go over film with a team, obviously, you take a look at some of the things that need to be corrected, but obviously there is a learning process involved in good National Football League plays as well.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, every game isn't perfect, and there's things in there that we got to improve on and get better. And obviously we want to come out with the win, which is what our goal is. But in there, there's some things that we got to improve on. Things that we got to do a better job of executing on Sundays and coaching better. And in those opportunities, when you do win, I think you're still going to go in and teach and correct and make sure that you get them right for next time. Everybody's watching the tape. Our next opponent's watching the tape, and Carolina's going to take advantage of some of those things that we didn't do well from last week, and we got to make sure we get them fixed.
We sit at 4-5 going into this tilt with Carolina. They're a team 3-7. They've lost 5 straight. Going to be the wounded animal syndrome come Sunday in Carolina, Coach. Don't know exactly what the status is of their fine quarterback, Teddy Bridgewater, or the running back, Christian McCaffrey. Two formidable offensive players for sure, but I'm sure you go about your preparations like they will be there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you can't fall for that. Guys that, early in the week maybe are on injured report. You got to be ready for them to show up in the game. And it's the NFL. Guys are dinged up and guys are beat up a little bit. And on Sunday they go out there and they play at a high level. So they certainly have a lot of weapons on offense, in particular. With Teddy Bridgewater, he's a great player and doing a great job in this offense. And McCaffrey, and obviously Mike Davis, who plays running back for them, is outstanding. And I think they're doing a great job using their skill guys. Curtis Samuel, someone that's going to be in the backfield. He's going to be moving around a little bit, and they just do a lot to kind of get their guys in position to make plays. So I think Coach Rule does a great job of mixing everybody in there. And, it's the NFL. We got to be ready to go.
All right, Coach. I know the thrill of the Washington win is history. Preparations underway for Carolina. That's a 1 o'clock kick. We're with you here on Lions Radio, getting underway at 10. Looking forward to it. Chance to get back to 500. Coach, let's keep her going. Appreciate your time as always, sir.
Absolutely. Appreciate it. You guys have a great day.
All right. That is Matt Patricia with us here on Lions Radio. Kev, there you have it.
All right. Thanks, Steve. Thanks, Coach. We appreciate it. Now let's check in with Jeff Sloan, founder and CEO of Startup Nation, to spotlight the entrepreneurial tech and startup community here on WJR.
Good morning. As disruptive as the COVID-19 pandemic has been to society, the economy, and to most businesses, believe it or not, there are some positives to count as a result of this crisis. You see, business has been transformed in ways that will result in greater efficiency and even greater productivity. Zoom calls instead of costly travel to meetings. Work from home has made otherwise wasted drive time hours into productive hours. And with so many businesses going online, the cost of doing business comes way down. And all of this greater efficiency and productivity should lead to a drop in prices consumers ultimately pay. Some specific examples? One of the categories changed most significantly. Well, the automotive category may be the most transformed, since the pandemic essentially accelerated a direct-to-consumer transition that's been in the works for a while, but never happened until now. While they did this out of necessity because their dealerships were shut down, this will likely involve changes that are here to stay long beyond the end of this crisis. Other industries likely change permanently for the better. How about banking? When physical branches were forced to close, consumers adopted the use of mobile banking apps as a primary way of conducting their banking. And who knows, with less visits to physical branches in the future as a result of consumers now interfacing digitally, maybe significant costs will be wrung out as a result of not needing a physical branch on every other street corner. And that ultimately could bring savings to us and reduce costs. And while restaurants have been hit really hard, perhaps even the most impacted, again, given that consumers and restaurant owners alike have been forced to offer online ordering as well as digitally driven takeout and delivery services, once again, all of this near-term pain may result in positive change long-term for the restaurant sector as well. And so while this crisis has been unquestionably hard on all of us and our businesses as well, maybe there will be some positives coming out of this in the long run. I'm Jeff Sloan, founder and CEO of StartupNation.com, and that's today's Business Beat on the great voice of the Great Lakes, WJR.
This report is sponsored by Compassion International.
We're all feeling the weight of COVID-19, but for kids in poverty this Christmas, things are desperate. Bring joy to a child when you make your special year-end gift to Compassion International. Just text GIFT to 83393. That's GIFT to 83393.
US 23 southbound between M59 and I-96 closed there due to a multi-vehicle crash. Traffic is slow from at least Clyde Road. M14 eastbound at Sheldon Road, new accident is blocking the right shoulder. And in Grand Blanc 75 northbound at Dixie Highway, accident blocking all three lanes. Traffic getting by in that right shoulder only. Now WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel, sponsored by True Tech Concrete Coatings. You've heard of Rhino Shield. Now Mark and Cheryl bring you True Tech Concrete Coatings. Make your basement, garage doors, porch, or patio beautiful in one day. 4 times stronger than epoxy, 15-year warranty, and antibacterial. Call today to get your project done before the holidays. 810-487-8832.
Gusty northwest breeze, cold fronts through. A little colder today. Cloud, sunshine 37. That wind certainly making it feel colder. Tonight we'll clear it out. 25 in town. Suburbs will be a little colder. Sunny tomorrow with a high in the low 40s, but 60s coming by the end of the week. From the Weather Channel, meteorologist Ray Stage on News Talk 760 WJR.
Hey, Sean Belegian here for Wigley's famous Eastern Market corned beef. Living in Metro Detroit my whole life, I've been a fan of Wigley's for years. From the old world flavor found in the time-honored family recipe to the consistent quality, Wigley's has been an Eastern Market staple since 1924. Now, it's the best time of the year to enjoy Wigley's corned beef, whether gathering with friends to root on the green and white or tailgating at home for our Detroit Lions.
Hey, what's going on?
Message.
Zanelle's ready to go?
I invite you to head
Thanks.
down to beautiful Eastern Market and pick up some Wigley's today. Wigley's is cooked to perfection every time.
I'm not sure where Paul is.
Master of your own pick, you can even smoke.
I don't know where Paul is this week, do you?
I'm not sure.
Could be on the beach, could be up north, could be home, taking a break. They use it or lose it vacation times.
Right, exactly.
I know everybody worked a lot of days this year. That's for sure. There was nowhere to go during lockdown.
That's right. So now you got to use it or lose it, which I never understood anyway. What's the harm in rolling it over?
I guess you pile up too much and then you just take months off. And, it's a problem for managing,
I remember
if you roll it over and use it like in the first month, I think a lot of companies are cool with that.
I remember that when I was in high school, I worked at the district media center in West Bloomfield, and there was a guy there who had been there for like forever, and he had saved up so much vacation time that I remember him telling me
site credit that expires 7 days after FanDuel goes live in Michigan. $100 is distributed as $50 site credit on each of sportsbook and casino. Unique user ID verification required. Offer ends on go live day. Gambling problems? Call 1-800-270-7117 for confidential help.
Now back to more Paul W. Smith on WJR. Once again substituting, here's Kevin Dietz.
Good morning. It is 7:19 on November the 17th, a chilly morning, little dusting of snow out there if you're making your way to your car and heading to work. I'm excited for our next guest. We've been talking on and off for the past couple of weeks trying to get her on the show, and she's with us now. Zanelle Brown is with Wayne County 3rd Circuit Court. Zanelle, welcome to the Paul W. Smith Show.
Hi, thank you for having me, Kevin. Glad to be here.
Yeah, I'm glad you are. I'm excited to talk about the book that you've written, and but first I want to talk a little bit about your job. Tell us about your job. It's one of the busiest courts in America. Tell us a little about your adventures over at Wayne County 3rd Circuit.
Well, the Wayne County 3rd Circuit Court, our chief judge is Judge Timothy M. Kinney, and like you said, it's one of the busiest courts in the nation. It's probably in the top 10. We get about 65,000 new filings each year. Our friend of the court, probably like one of the busiest again in the nation, collects about $300 million a year in child support and spousal support payments. Definitely the criminal court is busy. About 17,000 cases in our civil division. So it's a large court. We have Judge Kinney at the helm. I'm his administrator who makes sure all the things go right in the background. We have 4 divisions. We have the criminal, the juvenile, the family division, and the civil division. And we have presiding judges and deputy court administrators who oversee the operations of those on the day-to-day.
Yeah,
and we pretty much look to for a lot of different things when it comes to, what's next regarding courts.
Yeah, for sure. And if you're ever over there, I mean, it's super busy, but very well run. It's really interesting place to, as a reporter, I've spent years there and always amazed by the number of cases that come through and the work that gets done there. So congratulations on all of that. Let's talk a little bit about your book, Coffee and Conversations, Inclusion and Belonging. Tell us how it came about that you decided to write a book.
Well, definitely in the pandemic, you had a lot of time on the weekends, not too much going on. So I had some thoughts. I had been in the court for the last 23 years, and I had some thoughts where we're working on a diversity and inclusion plan inside of our courts, but I knew that I had taken a personal journey regarding diversity and inclusion being part of the court, and I thought it was important to share so others could share their journey, and maybe we can, finally get to this thing that we're calling inclusion and belonging. And most organizations have been trying it for years. First, you start with affirmative action, and then that starts looking like quotas, and you start questioning, and then you start just hiring people, so you get to be very diverse, but you don't know if those people actually feel like they belong there. And so that's what I was really trying to point out. You may have a lot of different people, but do those people actually come to work and bring their whole self, where they're contributing, where they're engaged, where they feel comfortable and feel like this is their place and that they want to be here? And they're not looking for like, what's the next way for me to get out of here? So that was the impetus behind writing that.
And for diversity to really work, you have to get to really know each other and understand each other. And one of the pieces of your book that I thought was interesting was the idea of, put down the protest signs, stop marching, and maybe sit down and have a cup of coffee and have an honest conversation with each other. It sounds simple, but it really seems to be the right idea.
It is simple, and it's like one of the most things that we just overlook. I mean, definitely protest it has a place. Definitely the marching has a place. But after all of that's done, after you marched or whatever, you still have to sit down and tell that person, this is what the facts are, this is what my grievance is, this is what I'm asking for, and allow that person to respond. So, because that's how the legislation gets changed, that's how the policy gets changed, that's how the system actually ends up being changed.
It seems like everyone is on sides in almost everything these days. How could a coffee and a conversation change all that?
So I believe you have to start, number one, that I have a good intention in my heart. I want to be inclusive. And I believe most people have that intention there. A lot of times we come to the table and we want to point fingers and blame. And I think we're at the point right now where we can say most of us living had nothing to do with the systems that we're living in pretty much. We've inherited these systems. So let's take an honest look, an objective look at the systems, and then see what the impacts of the systems are. And your experience, I'm sure, will be very different than my experience, Kevin. And I have to give you the space to listen to what your experience is. You have to give me the space to listen to what mine is. And then we can then brainstorm, how do we make this system better so it's not favoring you as a white man and being disparate as far as me as an African-American woman. So what changes do we need to make? And like I said, just being very open and honest about it, but coming with it with good intentions, and realizing that, Kevin, it's not going to miraculously change in one conversation. Come back to that conversation, add more information to that conversation, and let me hear your opinions. You hear my opinions. Sometimes it may be that we're walking away agreeing to disagree, but as long as we have that dialogue going back and forth, as long as we both agree to come to the table. Some days it may not be, when I'm waking up and very energetic to do, but I know I need to sit across from you and have that conversation and begin to expose you to what my stories are, listen to what your stories are. You get to see my experience, I get to see yours. I think we can get there.
And how do people find your book, Zanel?
It is available on Amazon, and it's very reasonably priced because I want it to be a companion when you're sitting down having coffee with someone.
I think that's great. And I think it's great that you guys are taking this so seriously over at the Third Circuit Court. And it obviously, nothing is better than being able to communicate with each other. And so Coffee and Conversations, Inclusion and Belonging, Zanel Brown, you can find it on Amazon, and I hope you will. Thanks for taking some time out of your busy day to share this with our audience here on the Paul W. Smith Show.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Kevin.
Okay, I'll talk to you soon. You are listening to Paul W. Smith Show. We're going to take a quick break, check traffic and weather with Dana Clark.
This report is sponsored by Grapes from California. Suffering from random bouts of hunger during the day? Satisfy them the healthy way with California grapes. When you want an anytime snack, go with Grapes from California. Available at Kroger.
Very slippery conditions along US 23 southbound between M59 and I-96. It is closed there due to an accident. Traffic backed up from at least Clyde Road. Accidents coming in now. 96 westbound at Milford Road. Collision blocks the left lane. 94 eastbound at 9 Mile. Accident blocking your right 2 lanes. In Grand Blanc, all lanes blocked along 75 northbound at Dixie Highway. Traffic getting by on that right shoulder only. M14 westbound before Beck Road. Accident has you slow from at least Sheldon Road. The right lane is blocked. And in Novi along M5 southbound between 12 Mile and 696. Accident blocking your right 2 lanes. 696 westbound at your 96 275 interchange. Accident is blocking a portion of that ramp. And also M14 eastbound at Sheldon Road. Accident blocks the right shoulder. Very slippery outside this morning. Please slow down, use extreme caution. Now, WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel, sponsored by Reamer Floors. The latest in waterproof flooring technology is on sale now at Reamer Floors. Save 30% on Empower by Armstrong flooring, featuring a reinforced mineral core and superior scratch resistance. Visit reamerfloors.com to schedule your shop at home or in-store appointments. As we've been talking about all morning long, rainy conditions, also snow flurries out there, making for a very slippery commute. Later this afternoon, cloudy conditions, a high of 37 tonight, clear to partly cloudy skies, your low 25. A bit better on Wednesday, at least. We're done with the snow and rain, afternoon clouds, but mainly sunny, a high of 44. Cloudy skies, snow in some areas, 32 degrees. I'm Dana Clark, WJR News with Dick Hafner in 2 minutes.
Dell Technologies just announced their Black Friday sale. They're releasing new doorbusters every weekday, plus up to 50% off cutting-edge tech for your business. There's no better time to upgrade your small business with the latest laptops and desktops with Intel Core processors, plus there's free shipping on everything. Yes, everything. Give Dell Technologies advisors a call. They'll identify the right tech solution for your business. Call 877-ASK-DELL or go to Dell.com/SB Black Friday. That's 877-ASK-DELL.
Buongiorno.
Buongiorno.
Buonasera.
Buonasera. How can I make the most of waiting for my next big vacation?
Translate your questions into goals by investing with Merrill Edge Self-Directed. It's more accessible than you think, with helpful planning tools plus free online stock and ETF trades, so you can keep practicing your pronunciation. Merrill, a Bank of America company. Visit merrilledge.com/withinreach to get started today.
Investing involves risk. Merrill Lynch, Pierce, Fenner & Smith Incorporated. Registered broker-dealer, member SIPC. Other fees may apply. Investment products are not FDIC insured or not bank guaranteed and may lose value.
Retirement isn't just about investments, it's about your life. Tune in to America's Wealth Management Show with Dean Barber and Detroit's own Ken Asawala, Sunday night at 6 on WJR, where Detroit comes to talk.
The exploding virus numbers. State health officials reporting a 2-day total in Michigan of 12,763 new cases and 55 more deaths. Mayor Duggan in Detroit defended Governor Whitmer's new 3-week pause, as she called it. The emergency order. More of the spread.
The Midwest is absolutely.
Your next guest is all set, Kev, ready to go?
Oh, good. Gavin?
Yeah, what a nice guy.
It's the Brown Hour. We went from Zanell to Gavin.
There you go.
Yeah, he's great. Gavin's great.
Looked at the science and said, I'm going to protect the people of the state of Michigan.
A White House coronavirus advisor, Dr. Scott Atlas, urged the state's resident to rise up against emergency measures. That prompted Governor Whitmer to respond that she was not going to be bullied. Duggan pointed out that the virus was spreading rapidly in the suburbs and not in Detroit. Macomb County Sheriff Anthony Wickersham testing positive for coronavirus. Joe Biden had a warning.
More people may die if we don't coordinate.
He's urging President Trump's administration to work with his transition teams. Thousands of power outages persist from Sunday's windstorm. ETE says it has about 49,000 homes and businesses still without power.
There's an article in USA Today, Kev, about Christmas lights before Thanksgiving. There's a reason.
Oh, there is.
Yes.
And that is?
It says here, seeing Christmas and other holiday lights even before Thanksgiving, there's a reason behind the acts of kindness, experts say.
Oh.
School District last night due to charges of
Did not know that.
The school board had a meeting.
Neither did I.
And 2 school board members.
Yeah, just put it in. No, yeah, I made a 4-minute break, a 5-minute break.
Dr. Robert Herrera resigned over
So it's one of the reasons is rituals, they say.
staff in the district from another board member. Then 2 other board members also quit.
Have a good day,
Herrera's
everyone.
resignation came after he filed a complaint against the accusing board member Angie Smith.
Very
for
interesting
harassment
story about
after
that.
She made posts online claiming that he had done some racist tendencies towards students and staff. It was unclear what incidents may have occurred. The Waterford woman who killed her husband after years of abuse has been released from prison.
All right, here we go.
Tina Talbot was granted
Are you ready
parole
for this?
past summer,
When you're
and
done?
now she has been let out of the Ypsilanti.
A lot of people out over there today.
There are a lot of people here. There are a lot of people there in the studio talking here.
They were saying that I was surprised. I saw a report that said, despite most media reporting and talking about people working at home, that the vast majority of people are still going to work. Some 70% of people.
I've been coming in here the
Are
whole
you
time.
ready for all this cuteness?
I've been coming in here all the time. Hey, do you want to feel old, Kevin?
Yeah, sure.
The movie Home Alone turns 30.
Oh. Wow.
I mean,
30.
Yeah, 30.
Although we do see that child actor could pop up in like the National Enquirer all the time. He's had
Macaulay Culkin.
Yeah, he's had some troubles.
His brother also in the industry too.
Look at his ears.
That's 30 years ago. Wow. 20, I would have been okay.
Yeah.
Let's go. You go with me today. Let's go.
Another thing I wonder about this year is the day after Thanksgiving, what it's going to be like, Black Friday.
Yeah, I know. I've been seeing stuff that it's already like the sales are already in effect, and a lot of it just online. I don't know if
Cyber Monday will probably be the same,
right?
But Black Friday, how is it going to be different? Are you going to have these stores that are not going to be open like on Thanksgiving night, like they used to?
Well,
you go have Thanksgiving dinner and then you'd go and go shopping.
Well, you can only have so many people in a store now. I think the new order covers some of that, doesn't it?
I know. So it's gonna put a damper on that.
Just drive around the back. Drive through. There's your dog.
It's gonna be really weird.
Yeah. But no, it's going to be empty. It's going to just be all online. It's going to be really hard for retailers, especially the small local retailers. You know that they do that shop local too. Is that? I don't know when that is. If that's
a lot of these companies that rely on on Christmas and the holidays for their whole year, could be in some trouble.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah. All right, we're coming back here. Your guest is all set to go.
All right.
If it needs healing, it needs Oxford Recovery Center.
And everybody's so friendly, too. That's one thing that Leah remarks all the time. Everyone here's so nice.
The new Brighton facility or in Troy at 248-486-3636 or visit oxfordrecoverycenter.com.
Don't ever give up.
Oxford Recovery Center, where healing begins.
Now back to more Paul W. Smith on WJR. Once again substituting, here's Kevin Dietz.
The SpaceX crew that launched from Florida's Kennedy Space Center with 4 astronauts on board Sunday night safely docked with the International Space Station around 11 p.m. last night. What a story. Amazing to see. If you haven't watched it, it's been incredible. And there is a NASA live stream that has shown a lot of this. And they sort of docked. It looked like almost in slow motion, but it wasn't. They were moving at 17,000 miles per hour, which is the speed necessary to keep objects orbiting in Earth. Anyway, here to talk about all of this and what it means for us is our good friend Gavin Brown, Executive Director of Michigan Aerospace Manufacturers. Gavin, welcome back to the show. How are you?
Kevin, doing good. Thank you again for having me, and very excited to not only be part of the space program, but if you were like me last night, I was just it's great to see America again leading the space race.
And so, as you're watching and you're into this, what were you seeing, and what was this experience like for you? You know, we watched SpaceX, take off and launch, and it's amazing. But there's so much going on, and there's 4 people inside. Well, this time 3 NASA astronauts and 1 from Japan, right? And up at the International Space Station, there's already a couple of astronauts who went about a month ago, right?
There is, and I'll tell you, Kevin, what it does for me is, and I know I might be the anomaly, I get excited every time I watch a launch, every time I see us do something. It brings back the days of, and again, I'm 61. I remember the Apollo program, watching Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin land on the moon. I think what it does is it shows us that we got away a little bit from our roots of being masters in space, and now we're returning it. And it's all due to the expertise and technology that Americans are driving. And I get excited. I just think this is our time to show that space superiority is back in American hands.
And it's not just a show that we can do it. We learn a lot from these missions, and there's just it gets people in this space creating more across the board, doesn't it?
It does, Kevin. You're going to see what I would call an exponential, an explosive growth in the commercialization of specifically what the ICE is, the low Earth orbit, medium orbit. What it does is it shows that those orbits and the commercialization, not how it works in space, but how that in space will actually improve our lifestyle here on Earth.
So they go up, and this mission is a 6-month journey. That's a long time. I don't know how big the space station is, but that's a long time. What will they do on this mission?
Experiments. So on the International Space Station, what they're constantly doing is doing experiments to do research and development on a whole plethora of different types of industry. So what they're going to be doing is, quite frankly, from the time they wake up to the time they go to sleep, they're looking and working on basically hundreds of experiments.
And how does that translate back to us? How will that help us one day? In what areas?
Think of some of the things that we're enjoying here on Earth. So, like crystals. Part of those experiments are to see, when we're looking at making medicine, how crystals actually develop in a zero gravity, so that they can then look at medicine and how it can be manufactured better. If you look at what we're doing with Michigan Launch Initiative with 5G, think of this, Kevin. How would it be with our governor and all the COVID new protocols being put in place? What would it be if every student, every person in Michigan could have 5G connectivity? And then secondly, think of the experiments where they're looking back down on Earth and looking and saying, hey, for agriculture, where is there more moisture? Where is there drought? And by doing so, being able to reallocate our resources here on Earth so that we can have a better food supply chain, we have a better medical program, we have a better education program. These are all things that space is now bringing to us on Earth that a lot of us don't realize is happening.
So these astronauts performing these experiments over the next 6 months really eventually could have an impact on almost every aspect of our life.
They absolutely will. So I think when you look at, I call it, again, I go back to what we're focusing on here to make Michigan a space state. It's not only the 5G program, but if you look at what I call space debris removal, so there's a lot of objects in space that need to be removed. So they're looking at ways of how to do that. And then third, I think the space situational awareness. Well, the reason I bring this up is think of climate control. While we discuss the merits of it here on Earth, they're able to do research and development in space looking at Earth and saying, okay, here's what certain technologies will be able to provide us information on climate control. And then how do we use that information? So I like to say in space, it's beneficial to us in our livelihoods here on Earth. But more importantly to me, and to hopefully all of us, how does Michigan participate in the space industry?
And it is participating more than it ever has, and that's going to hopefully continue, and it certainly looks like it does. Gavin Brown, Executive Director of Michigan Aerospace Manufacturers, thanks for coming on the show.
Kevin, my best to you, your listeners, and their families.
All right, we will talk to you soon. Have a happy Thanksgiving. We're going to take a quick break on the Paul W. Smith Show. Let's check traffic and weather with Dana Clark.
This report is sponsored by Compassion International.
We're all feeling the weight of COVID-19, but for kids in poverty this Christmas, things are desperate. Bring joy to a child when you make your special year-end gift to Compassion International. Just text GIFT to 83393. That's GIFT to 83393.
Well, Kevin, looking at least almost a dozen crashes out there, that slippery conditions will definitely cause you to slow down. Let's start along that closure along US 23 southbound between M59 and 96 closed there due to a crash. Traffic delayed from Center Road. And Grand Blanc 75 northbound at Dixie Highway, traffic is backed up. Accident blocking all three lanes. Those cars getting by on the right shoulder. 75 southbound after Dearborn Street, new accident blocks the right lane, slow from Spring Wells. 94 eastbound at 9 Mile, accident blocking your two right lanes, slow from Vernier. 96 westbound at Milford Road, 2 lanes blocked, a crash there, seeing delays from at least Old Plank. M14 westbound before Beck Road, accident blocks the right lane, slow from Sheldon. Eastbound M14 at Sheldon, accident blocking 2 lanes. You are slow from at least Beck. In Novi, M59 southbound between 12 Mile and 696. 2 right lanes blocked, a crash there, slow from at least 14 Mile. 96 eastbound after the Southfield Freeway, new accident blocking the right shoulder. 696 westbound at your 96 275 interchange, accident blocking a portion of that ramp. Slow down out there. Now WJR weather first from the Weather Channel.
It's clear sky this morning. Gusty northwest breeze adding a little chill to the air this afternoon. Not going much higher than the upper 30s with that northwest breeze continuing. Tonight, some clouds early. Then the sky will be cleared later, 25. Suburbs colder. Wednesday, sunny, low 40s, but 60-degree weather could return as soon as Thursday. From the Weather Channel, meteorologist Ray Stajic on News Talk 760 WJR.
This is Pastor Kent W. Clark, CEO of Grace Centers of Hope. At Grace Centers of Hope,
Kevin.
Yes.
Paul's got some. Paul has breaking news on IOTA. If you're going to ask him specifically about that,
it's landed.
I guess. Whatever.
I won't steal his thunder. Then I'll roll easy into the into the intro.
All right.
Good. That's great.
Hang tight.
Yep.
For a second.
Do you bowl with him or do you golf with him?
Both.
Both.
Yeah,
Okay.
He used to be the he's been the president of the AdCraft Bowling League for
Our captain.
years, and he I was the president of that league one year when he took a year away. But yeah, I know him from there and from golfing. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. He's Paul is serious about his bowling for sure. Hang tight.
PACE. Planet M has helped private and public entities work together to advance the future of mobility technology along a challenging course. Working together has been the key to staying on the right path. So whether you're just getting started or already an industry leader, Planet M is your connection to Michigan's mobility ecosystem and our future. If you're ready to make a move with your business, see how we can help at planetm.com/pure-partnership.
What if I told you you could sell your home for top dollar and not pay a single dime in commissions? Introducing YouPraise Offers, the new app coming to your smartphone. With YouPraise Offers, it's as simple as you point, you click, you praise. Simply enter the address of your home. Tell us about your home improvements, snap a few photos, and within 24 hours, you'll have a cash offer from a ready, willing, and able buyer that can close in just 2 weeks. YouPraise Offers. That's UPRAZE. Find it now in your app store today.
It's November, and if you're looking for any type of vehicle, come see what we can do for you. Hi, friends. Bill Golling here, reminding you about our 7 dealerships. We have Golling Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Bloomfield Hills, Chelsea, and Roseville. Golling Alfa Romeo Fiat in Birmingham. Golling Buick GMC in Lake Orion. Golling Toyota in Warren, and now open is Golling Kia on 14 Mile Road east of John R. in Madison Heights. Since 1966, we've been honored to serve all your automotive needs. Learn more online at Golling.com. That's Golling.com.
Have you been told you need spine surgery or just sick of living in pain? The Disc Institute has a proven, painless alternative. If your neck, back, or sciatic pain is due to a herniated, degenerative, or bulging disc, then you actually have 2 problems. 1, your pain, and 2, your bad disc. Drugs, therapies, epidurals, and new pain lasers are designed to only treat your pain, but they're not designed to treat your disc problem. And this is crucial because your bad disc is what's causing your pain in the first place. Without addressing your disc problem, your problem will get worse, which can ultimately lead to surgery. At the Disc Institute, we have a proven solution to solve both of your problems, your pain and the bad disc that's causing it, with our high-tech, non-invasive treatments. This is what can stop your pain without surgery. Call me at the Disc Institute at 586-416-DISC. That's 586-416-3472. We'll even review your MRI for no charge. Call 586-416-DISC. Reclaim your life.
Paul W. here. Thanksgiving is around the corner, but not everyone in Metro Detroit is celebrating. Thousands of children, seniors, and families will struggle to put food on the table. WJR and the Chilani Family Foundation have launched Hunger Free in the D, a 3-week matching gift campaign to support the Capuchin Soup Kitchen and Gleaners Community Food Bank to provide 500,000 meals to struggling families during the holidays.
Here's the Chilani Family Foundation's Tom Chilani.
The partnership between Capuchins and Gleaners is very strong. They help out a lot of people, and I felt it was good that Vicki and I and our foundation get behind the 2 of them. So over the last 5 years, the Chilani Family Foundation has been able to donate over $500,000, but we've been able to raise with that $500,000 close to $1.7 million. So that is what the power of WJR, Paul W. Smith, and our foundation has been able to do.
Join us to help out. Visit hungerfreeinthed.com or call 313-254-4788.
George Clifford here of Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical, reminding you to call us for all your furnace and electrical needs. We also
Did you see the message I sent you, Kevin?
Not that I know of. Let me check the connections.
With 3 Metro Detroit locations, we'll service you quickly and
Tested 1, 2, 3. Check, check, check. Still sound muffled? Hello,
Sounds
hello,
fine
hello.
to me.
Yeah.
That's familyheating.com.
At Wayne State University, improving the quality of life.
I don't know. I saw it earlier. Someone had said that, but
Yeah.
I didn't know if that was their system or mine.
I don't know. Sounds fine to me.
You know what's funny? The fuel stuff is already on stinger. I just
Okay. Coming back with Paul in a second here.
All right, sounds good.
Strong. Visit wayne.edu/admissions.
It's a new day, a day of winning big at Soaring Eagle, where it's all about the green in the $100,000 cold hard cash giveaway. Every Saturday in November, one winner every hour from 6 to 10 p.m. will take home $5,000. The $100,000 cold hard cash giveaway, only at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. Visit SoaringEagleCasino.com for complete rules and details.
Now back to more Paul W. Smith on WJR. Once again substituting, here's Kevin Dietz.
Hurricane Iota has barreled into Central America, bringing with it the possibility of life-threatening flooding, catastrophic winds, and mudslides. Iota is the record-breaking 30th tropical storm of the current season, and if you're going to talk tropical storms and hurricanes, you need a top-notch expert. When it comes to Metro Detroit, that means WDIV meteorologist Paul Gross, who joins us now. Paul, welcome to the show.
Hey, how are you, Kevin?
Good. This one has to keep you jumping this morning.
Yeah, sometimes we meteorologists have to talk about a worst case scenario, and what may have just happened with this hurricane could be worse than the worst case scenario, because off the coast of Nicaragua, there is a Colombian island called Isla de Providencia. And I'm hearing from a colleague, an international colleague of mine, unofficially, but he says that the mayor of that island says that it is a disaster. He says 98% of the buildings have been destroyed. The roof of the hospital was ripped off. So that's what I'm hearing unofficially, but I looked at satellite images, and the edge of that Category 5 hurricane went right over that island. So this is going to be something that's going to be making news over the next several days. And then it hit Nicaragua as a Category 4, only 12 miles from where Category 4 Hurricane Eta hit 2 weeks ago today. So you've had 2 Category 4 strikes on that Nicaraguan coast within 12 miles of each other. It's just unreal. I've never seen anything like this in my 38-year career.
Do we know how populated the island of Isla de Provincia is?
I don't know. I haven't done a lot of research about that because I just got that information. My colleague WhatsApped me late at night, like in the 5-6 o'clock hour time frame. So I don't know the details about the island, but I'm just hearing that it's a small island, and I'm just hearing that it's a disaster. So we'll have to see. And
to get hit twice like that, you can't recover from the first one. The second one's already there. I mean, this could really take years or maybe even decades to recover from.
Yeah, you're not kidding, Kevin. I mean, it's almost like what wasn't destroyed by Eta was destroyed by Iota. And the other thing people tend to not think about is that in Central America, they have a lot of mountainous terrain. So when you talk about 1 to 2 feet or more of rain in that mountainous terrain, you've got catastrophic mudslides, flash flooding, and things like that. There are parts of this story in Nicaragua that we don't even know yet. So, I mean, this is a story that's still unfolding. This is just a terrible, terrible disaster.
So power goes out, it's dark, and the winds are just whipping like crazy. And, mudslides and rain. I mean, how do you're just basically taking cover and trying to protect yourself and trying to wait this thing out. You can't really move to somewhere safe, right?
Exactly. And as you know, there are a lot of small villages and cities in there, and mobility is not great. And so some people, I don't like to use the word stuck, but some people are basically stuck or trapped where they are, and there's not much recourse to get to a safer spot. And so this is really just a horrific situation. 2 Category 4 hurricanes hitting the same spot 2 weeks apart. It's just unreal.
Is that bad luck, or is there something going on out there in the meteorology world that's causing these hurricanes to come back to back like this?
Well, it's just bad luck for this year, for this particular sequence. But there have been some others. Keep in mind, we had the Louisiana coast, which was battered twice this summer by 2 hurricanes. And then in Vietnam, they've been hit by 2 or 3 different hurricanes. They call them typhoons out there. So it's been kind of weird this year in that we've had a lot of repeat strikes. It's really bizarre.
And does global warming have anything to do with hurricanes or tropical storms?
Well, a lot of people are asking me that, and let's kind of keep this real simple. Basically, with the warming of the climate, what we are doing is putting the atmosphere on steroids. So global warming doesn't cause a hurricane. These hurricanes might have happened anyway. But what's happening is we are warming the ocean waters. So hurricanes that develop in very favorable conditions have warmer ocean water to work with. That means more fuel. And so they get stronger. And so a number of climate scientists are kind of gravitating toward a future where there might be fewer hurricanes, but the ones that develop in favorable conditions, and this year was obviously a very favorable condition, those that develop in favorable conditions will be stronger. So we might be looking at fewer but stronger, more intense hurricanes down the road, and this year has just been unbelievable.
And this storm, people are going to start to hear about it if they haven't already, but it's just going to be devastating for Central America. They're going to need a lot of help out there. You'll be covering this today on Local 4?
Oh, absolutely. And I already did special updates in our 6 o'clock newscast with that information that I had just received. I guess you call it breaking weather information. And this is a story you're going to be hearing about for days, I mean, just reports are going to be coming out of these remote areas where maybe there isn't a lot of electronics and things, or just media, and we're just going to be hearing about this storm for days.
Yeah, you hear a lot about breaking news all the time, especially in TV. But when it's breaking weather news, you pay attention because it's important. It can be life or death. Paul Gross, thank you so much for joining us this morning and bringing us up to date on this terrible, terrible Hurricane Iota. Thanks for being on the show.
Great being with you here, Kevin.
All right, we'll talk to you real soon. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with more of the Paul W. Smith Show. First, let's check traffic and weather with Dana Clark.
This report is sponsored by Compassion International.
We're all feeling the weight of COVID-19, but for kids in poverty this Christmas, things are desperate. Bring joy to a child when you make your special year-end gift to Compassion International. Just text GIFT to 83393. That's GIFT to 83393.
Okay, Kevin, 11 separate accidents out there. One has cleared, so that's good news. I'll just really go down the list. The newest one is in Pontiac. This is a closure up dike, both directions between M59 and Featherstone Road closed there. US 23 southbound shut down between M59 and 96. Traffic backed up from at least Center Road. 75 northbound at Dixie Highway, accident blocking 3 lanes. That's in Grand Blanc. 2 lanes blocked along 75 southbound on the Rouge River Bridge. This is a new crash in Detroit. Traffic slow from Spring Wells, 2 left lanes blocked. 94 eastbound at 9 Mile, accident blocking your right 2 lanes. 96 westbound at Milford, 2 lanes blocked, slow from Old Plank Road, at least a 20-minute delay there. M14 eastbound between US 23 and Ford Road, that incident is clear. Still seeing backups through that stretch. M14 eastbound at Sheldon Road, accident blocks a right lane. M14 westbound before Beck Road, 2 lanes, right 2 lanes blocked. Plymouth Township, a crash there. M53 southbound between 12 Mile and 696. Slow ride, right 2 lanes blocked due to an accident, slow from 14 Mile. Ramp restrictions along your 696 westbound ramp to 275 southbound and 96 eastbound after the Southfield Freeway accident is blocking the right shoulder. Now, WJR weather first from the Weather Channel. Yes, the weather is the cause for all this mess out there. Snow cover on the cars, but just a dusting. You know, this happens every time. The first snow. We don't know how to drive. Nothing new. A high of 37 today. This afternoon, just clouds. Tonight, clear to partly cloudy. Your low 25. Bit of a warm up the rest of the week, starting with hump day. Few afternoon clouds, but mainly sunshine. And a high of 44. We'll get through it. 32 degrees. I'm Dana Clark, WJR News with Dick Hafner in 1 minute.
Getting ready in the morning has been harder than ever. But did you know dressing for work can actually make you more productive? In fact, getting dressed for work each morning can even improve your performance, according to a recent study in the Wall Street Journal. Untucked shirts are a simple way to look sharp instantly, and they're designed
Kevin.
Yes.
All right. So they're saying here that your mic sounds like it's not on, like maybe you're talking through your computer or something.
Let me check. I checked it before we came on.
Hiring can be challenging, but ZipRecruiter makes it fast and easy. We talked to Monica Starks, who needed to hire.
Oh, you're right. You're right. All right. Hello. Sorry about that. That should be better. That's weird. I checked it before we went on, too.
Are you going through the microphone now?
Yeah, now I'm going through the microphone.
Yeah, it's better.
Huh.
Yeah.
That's yeah, I checked the audio before we came on, and it was on, and somehow.
No, okay. I'll be right back.
All right, sounds good.
Great voice of the Great Lakes, 760 WJR, where Detroit comes to talk.
The Michigan Department of Health new restrictions in combating the upsurge in coronavirus takes effect tomorrow. The latest figures from the state show the increases are continuing unabated. There were 12,763 new cases reported and another 55 deaths. The new figures means the state now has over 8,000 deaths from the virus. The exact figure, 8,049. What's next for the proposed vaccine being developed by the Moderna biotech firm? Moderna announced that its COVID vaccine was 94% effective. Dr. Paul Kilgore and Henry Ford, where part of the trial was conducted, says there are 2 more steps remaining.
The FDA will be talking with Moderna, the manufacturer, to further the development of this vaccine and go through the emergency use authorization application process. And that will take some weeks. And of course, all the data get reviewed very, very carefully.
If the FDA approves, this new vaccine could be available for emergency use before the end of the year. Joe Biden says the pandemic will get deadlier if President Trump's administration doesn't work with his transition team.
They say they have this warp speed program that not only dealt with getting vaccines, but also how to distribute this. If we have to wait until January 20th to start that planning, it puts us behind over a month and a half. And so it's important that it be done, that there be coordination now.
A Trump campaign federal over ballot processing.
Your guest is on the line.
Get a real
Kevin.
quarterback.
All right, great.
Appeal of a lower court rejection of a Trump lawsuit challenging
Did you print that?
results.
Yeah.
The win
Yeah,
storm
you're
Sunday still has
debating.
thousands without power.
Oh, God, I forgot about you, Grant.
45,000
So,
but how old is he, Jack? He's not that old.
Crews are coming in from nearby states to help.
Mark Gardner liked your interview with Paul Gross.
What's that?
Mark Gardner liked your interview with Paul Gross.
Oh yeah, Paul is into it. He knows all the ins and outs.
Yeah.
You know who is the most
true meteorologist?
Yeah, he gets in the weeds on it. It's great. You ever just sit down and talk to him?
She is
Go in detail. He really knows what he's talking about.
Yeah, he's really good.
There you go, Kevin.
He's been doing it a long time.
For sure.
The Iran nuclear deal. The New York Times first reported President Trump asked advisors about options, including a military strike.
So your guest is there from Open University.
Persuaded the president to reconsider a confrontation. The Trump administration exited the Obama-era nuclear deal in 2018.
And we'll be coming back in a minute here.
All right.
Charges of racism at a board meeting last night. The superintendent and 2 school board members quit in disgust. The Waterford woman who killed her husband after years of abuse, Tina Talbot, has been released from prison. She was sentenced to 20 months up to 15 years for killing her husband in 2018. She said she was in fear for her life and that of her young son, who is disabled, after years of beatings at the hand of the husband. On Wall Street, World Market Update is sponsored by Mother Waddles. Donate your car to Mother Waddles and help the poorest of the poor. Call 313-WADDLES. Overseas markets are mostly down, and the Dow futures are down more than 260. For WJR News, I'm Jake Hafner. More with Kevin Dietz coming up.
This is your chance to win $100 and be entered to win the grand prize of $25,000. Just text the national keyword GAIN to 95819. That's GAIN to 95819. Do it now. We'll text you back to confirm your entry. Data and messaging rates may apply. It's the $25,000 workday payday on 760 WJR.
At DTE, we understand that outages are frustrating, and we're working as quickly and as safely as possible to restore power. Crews will be in the field 24/7 until everyone is back up and running. In the meantime, knowing what to expect can help. Use your DTE app to report a downed line or check restoration progress. Of course, outages are disruptive, and we really appreciate your patience and understanding. DTE. If your power is out, a generator can make things easier. But DTE wants you to know how to keep your family safe. Never ever use a portable generator inside your home. It emits carbon monoxide, which can be deadly. Keep it outside, away from windows and doors, so the fumes won't come in. Read the manufacturer's safety instructions and follow them. Generators can make outages more bearable, but please use them safely. DTE.
This year, Michigan businesses have had to adapt, and the Michigan Economic Development Corporation was right there alongside them, helping to connect businesses to new resources, meet new partners, and access the additional capital they needed right from the start. If your business needs support to reach its new potential, the MEDC is available to help in any way we can. Contact us today for customized business assistance at michiganbusiness.org/partnership.
I'm Ann Thomas. On tonight's Healthy Woman Show, brought to you by the Michigan Center for Fertility and Women's Health, November is Men's Health Awareness Month. and we'll have some important information on how to take care of yourself tonight at 7 p.m.
From the great voice of the Great Lakes, this is Paul W. Smith on WJR with Kevin Dietz filling in for Paul.
Good morning. It is 8:06 on a Tuesday, November the 17th. A little dusting of snow on the grass in the car this morning. I know it's November, but are we mentally ready for the snow, the scrapers, the hats and gloves? Well, ready or not, it is chilly outside. Thanks for stopping by WJR 760 AM, where Detroit comes to talk. Well, former First Lady Michelle Obama implored Republicans on Monday to acknowledge Joe Biden's electoral victory in a candid Instagram post that touched on her own experiences in the 2016 transition. She said the presidency doesn't belong to any one individual or any one party. To pretend that it does, to play along with these groundless conspiracy theories, whether for personal or political gain, is to put our country's health and security in danger. This isn't a game, she wrote. Well, President Trump's personal attorney wants to make it clear that the president will never concede the election and fully intends to win. That, according to Rudy Giuliani, who says the president was being sarcastic when he said in a tweet that Biden won the election by stealing votes, that this was not by any means an intention for the president to concede. Joining us on the line now is Dave Dulio, professor of political science at Oakland University. Dave, welcome to the Paul W. Smith Show.
Good morning, Kevin. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I'm glad you're here. So I'm curious a little bit, is there any real danger in taking our time and looking into this? It's not like we haven't done it before. Back in 2000, I think it took 36 days before an actual winner was declared. We're not there yet. Is the former First Lady Michelle Obama right that this has to happen immediately, or is President Trump's attorney, Rudy Giuliani, correct in saying that they have the right to have these legal challenges and it doesn't put the country in any danger by doing so?
Well, Kevin, I think they're both right. I think the tone and tenor of the former First Lady's message is correct. But having said that, there are procedures in place, there are processes in place, there are ways that candidates are afforded to challenge results that are that can be looked into. Recounts are the normal, are the one maybe that's most familiar. But they're working through the court process as expected, and at some point the evidence is either going to be there or it's not. And I don't think that is such a big deal to wait for that to play out. In fact, I think you could have some that would argue having that process play out would give more people more confidence in the result.
A lot of Democrats are saying, hey, Joe Biden needs to be brought up to speed. He needs to be read in on national security, on the COVID crisis, on the economic crisis. It has to happen now. By not doing so, puts all of us in jeopardy. The president's position is he's the president. He has things under control, and that Joe Biden can be brought up to speed when and if he is found to be the next president of the United States. Do we need to inform both of them at the same time?
Well, I think what's interesting is you're seeing more and more Republicans, not all of them, but more and more of them come out and say that former Vice President Biden, now President-elect Biden, should be included in the briefings. He should get for instance, the updates on COVID-19. He should get the presidential daily brief on the national security side. It's one of those things that happens in a transition. And let's just play it out and say that the president is successful in his challenges. What does it hurt if Joe Biden has been briefed and then the result is something different than we expect? I'm not sure what it does to any detriment to have Biden briefed on all these things.
I don't remember. You probably don't either. But do you remember in 2000 when Al Gore and George Bush essentially tied? If they were both brought up to speed on everything that was going on for the 36 days while the courts in Florida were trying to determine who the winner was?
Yeah, that's a really good question, Kevin. And you're right. I don't remember. It wouldn't surprise me if they were. But you know what? Given the way politics is, it also wouldn't surprise me if they weren't.
Well, it seems clear that the president isn't giving up yet. We've seen many lawsuits filed. He's tweeted that more are to come. There's been a lot of reporting that the suits so far don't have a lot of merit, but that isn't slowing him down any. I wanted to ask you just quickly before I let you go. Here in Michigan, a bit of a controversy over Governor Gretchen Whitmer saying she has the authority to put new stay-at-home orders in place, and now the GOP saying, maybe it's time to recall Governor Whitmer. How serious is this animosity getting?
Well, I think the animosity has been serious for months. Clearly, the legislature wants to be involved, and it doesn't look like the governor has much interest in involving them. And whether or not that's her fault or their fault, I don't know. I'm not privy to those conversations, if any, that are being had. But I think the animosity is very serious, and it's only going to get worse. Whether or not that turns into a credible recall effort, I would be doubtful of that at this point, only because the governor is held in pretty high esteem by the folks in Michigan. Her approval ratings are close to 60% in the last polls that I've seen. So I think that would be a heavy lift. Now that doesn't mean that things can't change or won't, but certainly the acrimony between the two sides is it's a problem.
Yeah, it's been a problem since the beginning when they were arguing about a budget and trying to pay for roads.
Right.
That never came to fruition. I haven't been on the roads that much. I don't think we got them done yet. But clearly they're not getting along. We're going to have to keep an eye on that. David Dulio, Oakland University professor of political science. Thanks so much for joining us on the show today.
Thank you, Kevin.
All right, we'll be back with much more. Let's check traffic with Dana Clark.
This report is sponsored by Jets Pizza. Your local Jets Pizza is looking for the best of the best to join their team. Think you have the same Detroit-style hustle they pride themselves on? From delivery drivers to crew positions, visit your local Jets and apply to be part of the coolest crew in Michigan. Jets, better because it has to be.
Still quite busy out there, Kevin. Earlier accident in Grand Blanc. Good news, 75 northbound at Dixie Highway. That is clear. 96 eastbound at the Southfield Freeway, right in your local lanes. Accident is blocking the left lane of that ramp. 96 eastbound after the Southfield Freeway as well. Accident blocks the right lane and that ramp. Eastbound 96 in Lyon Township. Accident blocking the right shoulder of that exit ramp. 75 southbound on the Rouge River Bridge. Earlier crash is clear. 696 westbound at your 96 275 interchange. Accident blocking that ramp to 275 southbound. New collision 275 northbound at Ford Road blocks the left lane. And let's head over to M14 westbound right before Beck Road. Accident blocking two lanes, slow from 275. Eastbound M14 at Sheldon. Accident blocks that right lane. 96 westbound at Milford Road. Two lanes blocked, left two lanes due to a crash there. And the right lane is blocked along 275 southbound right before Ford Road. US 23 southbound before M59, between M59 and 96, still shut down there due to an accident that is closed. Also in Pontiac, a closure along Updike, both directions between M59 and Featherstone Road. Now, WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel, sponsored by the Michigan Building and Construction Trades Council. The construction trade unions of the Michigan Building and Construction Trades Council and their employer partners at Musk Construction Careers are looking for qualified, motivated applicants for apprenticeship opportunities in the construction field. Earn while you learn and graduate debt-free. To learn more, visit muskcareers.org. Management and unions serving together.
Pushed another front through. A gusty northwest breeze this morning, making it feel a little chilly out there. Clouds and sunshine through the day and a chilly day. 37 degrees overnight tonight. We'll clear it. Some clouds early, cold, 25. Suburbs a little colder. Sunny tomorrow with highs in the low 40s. Milder by the end of the week. From a Weather Channel meteorologist Ray Stajic on News Talk 760 WJR.
This is Pastor Kent W. Clark at Grace Centers of Hope. $2.05 may not seem like a lot to you, but in a few days, it'll provide a hearty Thanksgiving dinner at Grace Centers of Hope for someone who is homeless. Thanksgiving is a time for friends and families to join together, to be thankful for fellowship and all the blessing God has bestowed. No one should feel neglected or abandoned at this time, especially the homeless.
Couple things, Kev.
right.
Your next guest is all set to go, and after the 26th weather, if you could do the Blue Cross Blue Shield live read.
Oh, after
the next weather.
after this weather?
And not the one that's coming up after your interview.
After
26th, to the going into news at the bottom. Okay.
Gotcha.
To make a donation or for more information, call 1-855.
Your microphone to me sounds the same as it was before.
Really?
Meaning that there was I didn't hear it
either way.
I didn't think there was an issue before.
Right.
Jason says that it sounds a little bit more presence. So.
With over 350-degree programs, flexible scheduling, and financial aid, no one has more ways to make a world-class education more affordable and more accessible.
Yeah, I don't know.
So I think it's okay.
Visit wayne.edu/admissions.
When you're diagnosed with something as serious as cancer, you can feel alone. That's why at the Henry Ford Cancer Institute, we're all for being at your side to guide you through every step of your journey. And we're all for doing it with an entire team specializing in your cancer, united to fight with you. From the first meeting, your team works as one to create a plan that's unique to you with the most advanced treatments available, because we're all for innovation through collaboration, especially when it brings the best doctors and technology together. We know the importance of personalized care and a team that understands what you're going through. That's why the Henry Ford Cancer Institute is all for delivering both.
The NHL announced today that they're going to be going with some reverse retro alternate jerseys.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so they got pictures of all the alternate jerseys. I want to see what the Red Wings one looks like. I can find it real quick.
Are you a fan of the jersey changes?
Yeah, so this is what the Red Wings alternate retro jersey is going to look like.
All right.
Doesn't look much different from.
No, it looks pretty similar.
Yeah.
Is the wing different?
No, this one looks cool though. Which is the Mighty Ducks.
Oh yeah, yeah. There you go.
Here we go.
Now back to more Paul W. Smith on WJR. Once again substituting, here's Kevin Dietz.
The state of Michigan recorded its 8,000th COVID-19 related death. Governor Gretchen Whitmer saying whether you're from a city like Detroit or a rural area like Luce County, whether you're a Biden Democrat or a Trump Republican, you have a role in this fight. We beat this virus before. Let's do it again. New restrictions go into place at midnight tonight. And joining us now is Jonathan Oostin of Bridge, Michigan. Jonathan, thanks for being on the show.
Hey, good morning, Kevin. Thanks for having me.
So the restrictions go into effect at midnight. How is this going to change our lives?
Well, most immediately, if you're a parent with a high school child who is going to school in person, that's going to be closed for the next 3 weeks. So all high schools are supposed to go to remote learning. Restaurants and bars are supposed to be closing their dining rooms again to the public. So you won't be able to eat out in person. You can still get carry out. And, with the Thanksgiving holiday fast approaching, the new order specifically tries to discourage folks from getting together in large groups by limiting indoor gatherings to people from 2 households or 10 people total. So they don't want you getting together with your parents and your brother's family, for instance. That's obviously going to be hard to enforce inside people's homes, but it's put into paper anyways.
So as the reporter covering this for Bridge, Michigan, who's blowing up your phones the most saying this isn't going to work, this is outrageous, this is a problem?
Well, I mean, the restaurant industry is having the most heartburn, I think. The restaurants obviously have been having a tough time regardless. They were closed earlier in the pandemic, and then, during the summer, we're able to have outdoor seating, which was a real boon for them, encouraged some people who might have been reluctant otherwise to return to restaurants. But now, not only, they don't have the outside option because of the weather, but they're going to have to close again. So, a lot of fear and trepidation on the restaurant side about what this is going to mean for the future of restaurants that have already weathered a pretty significant storm. Other than that, a lot of the reaction on the legislature side has been more about process than about the specifics of this particular order. As I'm sure you know, the Michigan Supreme Court invalidated an emergency authority law the governor had used to issue orders, but she's continued to do so instead through her health department director, who is issuing orders under a separate law. The legislature wanted to be more a part of the decision-making process and haven't really been to this point.
The governor doesn't seem to be backing down at all from the idea that she can't call the shots. Lawmakers continue to say, hey, we need to be involved, but, how hard are they trying to be involved, or is there no room with this governor who is not interested in what their opinions are?
Well, I think the truth lies somewhere in the middle, right? The lawmakers say they're not part of discussions at all. The governor says, yes, they are. The truth is, the governor has invited GOP leaders onto what she's calling modeling calls, where public health experts in the state and the University of Michigan go through data that is informing the decisions that are being made in the state. That said, legislatures say they didn't have input on this direct policy, and I believe that's true. The governor is basically daring them. She says, if you really want to step up, you can pass legislation right now. There's nothing that's stopping them, of course, except for her veto pen. So traditionally, if you're going to, try and pass a major piece of legislation, you want the governor on board before you do so. So, it's a standstill right now in that relationship, but the governor has continued to forge ahead.
The governor has fairly good approval ratings. People in Michigan seem to like her. Not likely you'd get a recall effort to go through. Is there any reality to threats by the legislature of an impeachment?
No, I don't think so. I mean, there's a small group of pretty arch conservatives who are pushing this idea. Even if, the House were to put up a vote, and it went to the Senate, they'd need a 2/3 majority in the Senate to convict on impeachment, which, Republicans don't have a large enough majority to make that happen. So this is a small group of conservatives who are talking about this, and I haven't heard either of the GOP leaders endorse this, which is critical. I mean, if Speaker Chatfield is not on board with a plan pushed by 5 of his members, that plan doesn't really matter.
So the restrictions are coming at midnight. 3 weeks is what they were called for. Does anyone really think that they'll be done in 3 weeks? And 3 weeks, the numbers are going to drastically improve and change, and we're going to roll back the restrictions and open up again?
Well, obviously, only time will tell. The idea is to try and flatten the curve a little bit. We've got, of course, exploding case counts right now. I think the idea is to see what happens here in the next 3 weeks, and that if behavior it does change significantly because of these orders, the governor and the state's top medical executives said they're optimistic that they could see some sort of change in the numbers by then. But obviously they're going to reassess it at that point. And I don't think anyone thinks that 3 weeks is going to be the end of the fight against COVID, but it's, the state's going to be in this particular posture for 3 weeks anyways.
I'm a little concerned that the colleges are completely online again, and some parents were talking about having their kids stay up at college for Thanksgiving and having their own Thanksgiving up there. But now the kids are coming home because the school is online and they can stay home for a longer extended period. And I don't know if the numbers are still exploding on college campuses, but they were. And there's some concern about, are college kids going to bring COVID home and infect the rest of the family?
Yeah, I think that's a very valid concern. I mean, the governor herself has, I think one of her daughters is in college right now, and she said, they're going to be testing her daughter before and after she comes home for the break, and it's something a lot of families are definitely going to be dealing with.
Well, the number of deaths is high, and the daily number is bad, and the hospital beds are filling up. So we have to do something. Appreciate you coming on with us today, Jonathan, and we'll be following your work in Bridge, Michigan. Thanks for being on the show.
Thanks, Kevin.
All right, let's check traffic and weather with Dana Clark.
This report is sponsored by the Exergen Temporal Scanner. Don't take chances with COVID-19 and your family's health. Use the Exergen Temporal Scanner to check temperatures before dinner and before you leave home. It takes an accurate reading in seconds and is the #1 thermometer recommended by hospitals, doctors, and nurses. Stay safe with Exergen.
Still very busy out there, Kevin, as you'd suspect. Let's start along 275 southbound right at Ford Road. Accident blocks the right lane, slow from at least Ann Arbor Road. 96 westbound at Milford Road. Accident there is blocking your left two lanes. Checking out M14 westbound right before Beck Road. Earlier incident there. That collision is clear. All right, let's move along to check out 96 eastbound at Wixom Road. Accident blocking the right shoulder of that exit ramp. Also 96 eastbound after the Southfield Freeway. Accident in your local lanes is blocking the right lane. It is also blocking that ramp to M39 traveling northbound. 96 eastbound at Wixom Road. Earlier accident is still blocking the right lane of that exit ramp. 75 northbound at Dixie Highway, that's clear. Also good news, 696 westbound at your 96-275 interchange is clear. Now, WJR weather first from the Weather Channel, sponsored by McLaren Health Plan. McLaren Health Plan is helping families stay healthy with coverage for virtual doctor visits, flu shots, and access to over 140 hospitals in Michigan. McLaren Health Plan, the right plan for right now. Learn more at McLarenHealthPlan.org. These snow showers, snow flurries ending by this morning. It's not going to stick around for long. It's going to remain cold, though. A high of 37 today. Tonight, clear to partly cloudy skies, your low 25. Wednesday, except for a few afternoon clouds, mainly sunny and a high of 44. Currently a cold 32 degrees. I'm Dana Clark, WJR News with Dick Hafner in 2 minutes.
This year, we've all been taking actions to keep ourselves and our loved ones healthy, like wearing a face covering and minimizing contact with others whenever we're out in public. And now that flu season is upon us, my friends at Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan want to remind everyone that there's never been a more important time to get the flu shot. It's a smart, safe, and simple way to protect yourself, as well as everyone around you. By keeping people healthy from seasonal illnesses like the flu, we can reduce the strain placed on healthcare resources and allow healthcare workers to continue to focus their efforts in the fight against COVID-19. So this flu season, give it a shot. You can get one at your doctor's office or a participating pharmacy. There also may be additional resources available within your community or through your place of employment. Plus, if you're a Blue Cross or Blue Shield Network care member, you can get a flu shot at no cost. So help do your part in keeping everyone in Michigan healthy and give it a shot. Learn more at bcbsm.com/preventflu.
The virus numbers keep climbing. State Health reporting 12,763 new cases of COVID-19, 55 more deaths, a two-day total. The State Health Department also says school outbreaks accounted for 7,200 of these cases. Most of them are college-related. The Macomb County Sheriff, Anthony Wickersham, testing positive for the virus. He says he feels healthy.
Its COVID-19 restrictions today. Many of them.
Hey, how you
Kevin,
doing?
when you were talking with the guest about the space launch,
Yeah,
did you guys mention who else was on the launch with them?
The from Japan?
No, there was the crew. There was the crew plus one more.
Of a Trump lawsuit challenging
And that was
the election results. Iran has pushed
if I can
back
show you
after
this.
reports that President Trump has been considering an attack.
Can't quite see it.
Bomb operation.
Iran says any American attack would be met
Whoa, what is that? A Star Wars figure or something?
Yeah, that's Baby Yoda.
Okay,
From the Mandalorian. They
Nice.
brought a plush figure of Baby Yoda.
Nice.
Great.
That's
Have you
funny.
watched any of the Mandalorian?
No.
Oh, it's so good.
I remember you talking about that once before. I'll have to check that out.
My,
Sci-fi is not exactly my thing, but I did like Star Wars. And,
Oh, then you would love this for sure.
Yeah.
There's season 2 now. You've got 2 seasons you can watch on if you have Disney Plus.
I don't. That's the one I don't. Or wait, no, Apple Plus. I don't have. I think I do have Disney.
Oh, Apple TV Plus.
Yeah, that one I don't think I have.
The morning show, very good show on that one.
Hey, when the next guest calls in, will you see how to pronounce his first name?
Yeah.
If it's Eben, I guess it's Eben. Eben.
Yeah. We'll find out when he calls in.
Yeah.
It's the adult behavior that has led us to where we are today.
The Waterford woman, Tina Talbot, who was killed, was jailed for killing.
Yeah,
her
you need
husband
to.
after years of
If you
abuse,
like Star Wars,
has
you
been
need to get caught up on that.
released from prison. Tina Talbot was
Yeah, I'll have to check it
parole,
out.
and now she has been released.
And
She was
I just got a text from Paul Gross,
up to 15
who
years.
wanted me to tell you that Brandon Ruse says hi.
Oh yeah, Brandon's the bomb.
Fear for her life and that of her young.
Brandon is the bomb. Well, both those guys. That whole weather department is awesome over there. They're just really nice, really nice people.
That's is it Brandon and Paul and Ben Bailey?
Yep.
He's the one who took over for Chuck Gatica,
Yeah,
right?
Chuck before him was great too. They just they've had a really good weather department over there over the years.
Tells Kevin Dietz it's a new beginning for the U.S. program in space.
Yeah,
that explosive growth.
weather and traffic, important parts of the TV news for people here in Detroit.
Yeah, and sports is interesting too because a lot of local news agencies are getting rid of their sports department. And
Really?
they're just having the news people just sort of read the scores, just touch on it because they feel like sports has become so specialized that people who are into sports are already off to ESPN or to Sports Center or wherever you're getting your sports news. But
right, I could see that.
But I think I would miss it. I kind of
WJR News.
5 minutes of behind the scenes stories of what's going on with your sports teams. I enjoy.
It's about your life. Tune into America's
I think
Top
local
Management
sports,
Show with
especially
Steve
here
Barber
in
and
Detroit, where
Detroit's
we
own
have very
Dennis
passionate
Lawler.
fans.
Sunday night
Yeah.
on
Unfortunately,
WJR, we're
either
Detroit,
the
not
teams
the
are not doing very well or going through a rebuild. But
That's when you do features on the players.
right, I'm sure that they did a lot of that during COVID too.
Yeah.
Small business with the latest laptops and desktops.
All right, hang tight.
Core processors, plus there's free shipping on it.
Give Dell Technologies advisors a call. They'll identify the right tech solution for your business. Call 877-ASK-DELL or go to Dell.com/SB Black Friday. That's 877-ASK-DELL.
If I'm not commuting anymore, where do I really want to live?
While you handle life's questions, Merrill Guided Investing helps you manage your portfolio and invest for your next move with the option to work with an advisor at a low cost and minimum.
His first name is Eben.
That's what I thought.
All right, he's on hold, ready to go.
Both a registered broker-dealer and investment advisor, member SIPC. Investment products are not FDIC insured or not bank guaranteed and may lose value.
Our energy grid. It powers the present and fuels the future. That's why DTE is working every day, planning and building the grid of tomorrow, investing in infrastructure that's stronger and more resilient, using advanced technologies to make it smarter and more responsive, so you can have reliable, affordable energy where you need it, when you need it. Learn more at dteenergy.com. DTE. There is nothing more beautiful than a tree. Unless, of course, it's fallen on your power lines. Fallen trees are responsible for nearly 70% of the time DTE customers are without power. So DTE is stepping up efforts to trim overgrown trees to keep you safe and the electric grid reliable. And it works. Where we've completed tree trimming, customers have had 60% fewer outages. Learn more at dteenergy.com/tree care. DTE.
Hi, I'm Connie Holzer. I wanted to take the time to thank you for supporting our dealership during these difficult times. Everyone at our dealership is extremely appreciative of your loyal support. We've taken every precaution to make sure that you have a safe and enjoyable experience at Tom Holzer Ford. So come see us at 10 Mile and Haggerty in Farmington Hills. You know, we'll take great care of you as always. We appreciate you buying American, buying Ford, and buying from Tom Holzer Ford. Thank you.
Now back to more Paul W. Smith on WJR. Once again substituting, here's Kevin Dietz.
As new shutdowns go into effect in Michigan at midnight, the light at the end of the tunnel seems to be a successful vaccine, and Moderna has some good news there. A COVID vaccine showing over 94% effectiveness. The stock market sure liked the news, the Dow nearly hitting 30,000. Following all the developments and joining us live now is Fox News correspondent and WJR contributor, Eben Brown. Eben, thanks for being on the show.
Good morning.
So this is more good news. The second time this month that there's sort of a glimmer of hope that the end may be near for COVID-19.
I don't know if it's near, but I can tell you that another candidate vaccine looks very promising. This is Moderna's vaccine, and it has, according to its studies, its phase 3 clinical trials, a 94.5% effective rate. That is outstanding. It's actually even better than the outstanding rate that Pfizer touted last week with their candidate vaccine. It was 90%. So this is astonishingly good and very promising. Now, as Moderna waits for FDA approval, it's already beginning production via Operation Warp Speed, and it's quite possible that in a few weeks, tens of millions of doses could be available for frontline healthcare workers, first responders, the elderly, the chronically ill, people who will really be at risk. It could really benefit first from inoculation. And provided things go swimmingly within a couple of months, there could be hundreds of millions of doses of vaccine, different kinds of vaccine, not just the Moderna, but also the Pfizer and other companies who complete their trials. It could be out there and available at retail pharmacies, pharmacy departments in supermarkets and big box stores. Basically available everywhere, similar to the way flu shot is available everywhere. If anyone wants one, they'll have no problem getting it.
Yeah, the flu shot, I think, is about 50% effective. So I like the idea of 95% effective, much better. Is this a two shot deal like the other, or is this a one shot deal?
It is a two-shot, I believe, where you get your first round, and then a few weeks or a month later, there's a second round to boost it. So it's not a bad deal, considering how prevalent coronavirus is and what COVID-19 can do to people that we've seen this year. And the fact that the first U.S. case was back in, I believe, in January. And here we are in November with at least two, and maybe more potential vaccines.
Yeah, really remarkable how quickly this was able to come about. And, regardless of who takes credit for it, it is amazing that so many people were able to come together and do such an amazing job. To have these results, I think, really surprise a lot of people. And to think that you reported that in perhaps a few weeks, 10 million frontline workers may be able to get the first vaccine. It's really just incredible on so many different fronts.
Well, it certainly is. It's something that we haven't ever seen before, and it is a testament as to what can be done when bureaucracy is made to work properly and money is available to pay for it all. Now, not every new illness that comes about is going to get this treatment because we could never afford it. But in this pandemic situation, where so many people are obviously affected by coronavirus, the economy is affected by the coronavirus, it obviously made sense of a lot of people to spend these billions of dollars to try to hurry up and get this done. And to get not just the United States, but really the world past it, because the world has been sort of held hostage by it this whole year.
Absolutely, and there's been a lot of conversation about will you get the vaccine when it's available. I think when people were having that conversation, there was more uncertainty of how effective it might be. The idea that the first two out of the chute are plus 90% effective has got to be encouraging from a marketing standpoint to get people to actually go and take the vaccine, because if you don't get it, it's not going to help solve the bigger picture problem.
Well, correct. If you don't take a vaccine, it won't work for you. But the purpose here is to give people the availability of getting it. If they don't get it, it's not because they couldn't get it; it's because they wouldn't get it. And that's obviously the government isn't going to, probably not yet anyway, force you to take this. This is not going to be treated like an MMR vaccine, where we really do encourage and have certain requirements for kids to get them and the like. But it will be a choice whether or not you take this vaccine. If you don't, you don't. But other people will. But if you don't, it's because you're choosing not to, not because you can't get it.
Is it going to be free, or is there going to be a cost with it? Do you know?
The vaccine itself is free, depending on where you go to get it. There might be a charge for administering it. For instance, if you go to your doctor's office, they might charge you an office copay to be seen. But the vaccine itself is free of charge. So likely, if you go to a pharmacy, you will not get a charge at all. But if an individual doctor's office charges you your office visit copay, that's something else. They might not if you're just coming in to get a coronavirus shot and you're not actually seeing the doctor. They may forego the copay for you. I know many doctors' offices that do that, but my advice on that would be to call ahead and see what they would charge you, if anything. But the vaccine itself is to be free of charge to every American.
Fantastic news. Evan Brown, Fox News correspondent and WJR contributor. Thanks for taking some time to be on the Paul W. Smith Show today.
You got it. Take care.
All right. Be safe. We're going to take a quick break on the show. We'll be back with more. Right now, let's check traffic with Dana Clark.
This report is sponsored by the Exergen Temporal Scanner. These may be uncertain times, but what is certain is that every family needs a reliable thermometer. Protect your family with the Exergen Temporal Scanner, the only home thermometer used and recommended by hospitals, physicians, and clinics. Stay safe with Exergen.
Okay, Kevin, making some headway here in Pontiac, Updike, both directions between M59 and Featherstone. That has reopened. 696 westbound at your 96-275 interchange. That is clear. New accident, Southfield Freeway, northbound and southbound at 96. Accident is blocking both the northbound and southbound ramp to 96 eastbound. 275 southbound at 8 Mile. Accident blocks the left shoulder. 96 eastbound at the Southfield Freeway. Accident blocks the right lane, also blocking a portion of that ramp. Also, ramp restrictions in place along 96 eastbound at Wixom Road. And good news along US 23 southbound at M59. Earlier accident is clear, still delayed from at least Center Road. Now, WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel, sponsored by Gordon Chevrolet. Gordon Chevrolet has Black Friday deals all month long. Cyber Cash, a lease pull-ahead program with up to $1,500 in loyalty bonus cash, and leases starting under $200 a month. Extended hours Black Friday, Saturday, and Monday Ford Road, just west of Merriman in Garden City. GordonChevrolet.com. Gordon Chevrolet, find new roads.
Gusty northwest breeze, cold fronts through. A little colder today. Cloud, sunshine, 37. That wind certainly making it feel colder. Tonight we'll clear it out. 25 in town. Suburbs will be a little colder. Sunny tomorrow with a high in the low 40s, but 60s coming by the end of the week. From a Weather Channel meteorologist Ray Stitchik on Newstalk 760 WJR.
For over 100 years, Absopure has remained committed to serving communities throughout Michigan. And now, in your changed work environment, Absopure is ready to serve you just as they always have. Absopure is dedicated to providing offices with top-notch refreshment and top-notch service. They offer a variety of bottled waters for office delivery, including natural spring, steam distilled, and vapor distilled with electrolytes. And each variety comes in an assortment of sizes, ranging from individual bottles to 5-gallon jugs. And refreshment doesn't stop at water. Absopure is your go-to provider for a delicious assortment of coffee and coffee goods to power your workday. Whether it's by the pot or by the cup, they have the brand you love with the service you expect. Let Absopure make staying
The easiest part of getting back to business.
Okay, Kev.
Visit absopure.com/.
All right, are we going to
Send you
have
some emails. So
is Frank going to join us here for the last segment?
To sign up for safe, convenient, zero-contact delivery service. That's absopure.com.
It helps if I plug in my headphones.
Yeah, we're not quite done yet. We got our last segment. Is Frank joining us?
Yeah, Frank's going to join you for your last segment.
All right.
And then we'll talk later on about tomorrow.
Okay. Did Fox ever? Are they going to get a hold of us really late again today?
What's that?
Is Fox going to get a hold of us really late again today after everybody's booked?
I don't know.
What a system, huh?
But but we got some other. I got some other stuff some other things that I sent you emails on. They look pretty interesting. So.
Oh, good. I saw your name pop up. I saw things.
So we can plug those in. We can plug those in for tomorrow too, and potentially also maybe the governor potentially.
Yeah, we'll have to reach out to the governor.
So, but yeah, Frank's going to be joining you on the cross.
Okay, that sounds good.
And he can promote what's going on in his show.
Cool. All right, thanks. I appreciate all your help.
But I will. I'll be back right after at the last. Say goodbye.
Do you go on a different link, right, for Frank's show?
Yeah.
Or does he do Facebook?
No, he doesn't. He doesn't do StreamYard. So you'll hear him through it'll be like you're talking to Dick Hafner.
Yeah.
But I'll be back at the end.
Okay.
And families. We are proud to announce that in 2020, we have granted more funds than any other year in our history. To date, nearly $7 million has been invested into the lives of children and their families. The Children's Foundation listens to the needs of the community and then takes the lead in developing opportunities and solutions to affect change through grant making, fundraising, and advocacy. As you consider your year-end giving, I invite you to join us in our efforts. Together, we can make a difference. To learn more or to make a gift, please visit www.yourchildrensfoundation.org. And thank you for your support.
I'm Frank Beckman, and I'm joined by my friend Chris Alberta from Principium. And a lot of people are really concerned right now because we're in this Medicare enrollment period. Chris, you've told me before that people are going to spend, in some cases, $30,000 to $50,000 more than they have to on Medicare in their lifetime. How does that happen, and how do you avoid it?
Well, it happens because we are, as a culture, just inundated with information, misinformation, and the salespeople that are selling us these plans are simply not spending the time to show us all the options and specifically show us the ones that are best for us. Michigan retirees, Frank, are hemorrhaging money on Medicare plans that they don't necessarily understand, and they're being sold them by people who really don't care about what is best for the client. In many cases, so much as what the best premium is, the best product, the best coverage level.
And there's so much involved in Medicare that needs discussion. When people come into Principium or call you on the telephone, you're talking about doctor care, you're talking about long-term care, you're talking about RX. There's so many things involved.
There's so many elements. And let me just put it to you this way. If I was a 65-plus-year-old person on Medicare, I would be desperately trying to find the one plan for myself, maybe for my spouse and myself, that could be and should be the option for the next 10, 15, 20 years of our life, rather than jumping every single year through all these hoops, finding the next best plan or having rate increases that are driving me crazy. It's criminal what's happening out there with the lack of information. Most people should be on plans that cost somewhere between $0 per month and maybe $50, $60, $70 per month. There's going to be folks who buy regular garden variety Medicare supplements from the big names we've all heard of, but what they should be doing is calling my team and saying, hey, listen, sit down with me for a half an hour, 45 minutes, and teach me how to do this properly.
Call Principium and Chris Alberta.
888-800-8949, or go to retirelikefrank.com right away.
If I'm not commuting anymore, where do I really want to live?
While you handle life's questions, Merrill Guided Investing helps you manage your portfolio and invest for your next move with the option to work with an advisor at a low cost and minimum. Merrill, a Bank of America company. Visit merrilledge.com/investing goals to get started today.
Investing involves risk. Merrill Lynch, Pierce, Fenner & Smith Incorporated, both a registered broker-dealer and investment advisor, member SIPC. Investment products are not FDIC insured or not bank guaranteed and may lose value.
It's happening. Publishers Clearinghouse is awarding a $2,500,000 mega prize in just days. Enter now at PCH.com, and your family could soon be celebrating the win of a lifetime. Don't miss your last chance to win the $2,500,000 mega prize. Go to PCH.com before it's too late. That's PCH.com. Better hurry. Enter at PCH.com now. Entries due 11/29. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited.
Whether it's 15 terrifying miles to the first date or 92 miles to meeting your furry best friend and naming him Max. Whether it's 300 eager backseat miles to funnel cakes and Ferris wheels or just heading to work. Marathon has the fuel to keep your engine running at peak performance because you never know where life is going to take you. For quality fuel through every mile, fill up at Marathon.
Now back to more Paul W. Smith on WJR. Once again substituting, here's Kevin Dietz.
Michigan's COVID-19 restrictions go into effect at midnight. Michigan has shut down indoor dining in restaurants, casinos, bowling alleys, movie theaters, and more. High schools and colleges to halt in-person classes. We're not the only state. Washington's enforcing stricter limitations on public gatherings, including funerals, which will be limited to 30 people. I believe we're doing that here as well. Oregon will limit indoor gatherings greater than 6 people to just 2 households, including Thanksgiving. We're doing something like that here as well. North Dakota, which has avoided many restrictions, is enforcing statewide mask mandate. Joining us now is Frank Beckman. Frank, how are you?
I'm good. I just want to know how we're going to enforce that Thanksgiving ban on gatherings of more than 6 people.
I got an idea for you, Frank. Listen to me on this one, okay?
All right. I guarantee I know what it is already, though, okay? Let me take a guess.
You want to share it?
I get one guess. You're going to recommend that every household prepare ham instead of turkey.
That's close. What I was going to do is suggest that instead of having Thanksgiving, have a funeral for the turkey, and then you can have 30 people for the funeral.
I like that. That's brilliant. That is just brilliant.
It's not my own. It was borrowed from Facebook or somewhere. But, but that might just work. Are you going to be having to alter your Thanksgiving plans?
Well, we've got, we don't have a huge family, and they're mostly adults. Got 3 little kids that are, grandkids that are directly involved. And my daughter is really getting fearful about what's going on with COVID and young people being affected by it. And so she would rather that we not interact and have a big gathering. And so that's going to preclude us from doing that, which is, that's a smart thing to do, I think.
Yeah, I know you don't necessarily love the technology, but are you going to attempt the FaceTime or the Zoom or try to see those little grandkids in one way or another with through technology?
We do it almost daily, pal.
Oh, good. Yeah, nowadays I think you could just pop it on the big screen almost if you can figure out how to run it through the TV set. It's almost like they're there without having to hold them when they're crying.
Yeah, exactly right. Leave that to their mom.
Yeah, I completely understand people being concerned. The numbers are crazy. Do you feel like the politics come out of it with the election over? When you get a decision that was made previously, you might say, hey, maybe people are trying to sway the election. The votes have all been cast. They may not have all been counted yet, but when these decisions are made now, it seems like to me some of the politics is taken out of it.
Well, I'm not sure. It's still going on in Michigan, that's for sure. The politics up in Lansing are never ending. And, I think when we eventually get to the point, and I think we will, because the president's not been able to prove his claims of widespread voter fraud in the outcome of the election. But when Joe Biden, if and when he is sworn in as the next president, 46th president of the United States, then I think it starts to calm down, don't you?
Yeah, I think so. Although I don't think so in Michigan. It looks like from day one, the legislature and the governor were not going to get along on the roads coming up with a budget. And here we are now in COVID, and we're having the same argument except over them not being able to get together to talk about giving input into important decisions. Something has to give here in Michigan.
I'll tell you what, we'll cover it with Mike Shirkey, the Senate Majority Leader, in about 10 minutes when we take the airwaves. He'll get it going. We'll find out just how much discussion is going on between the two sides in Lansing and try to sort it out for all of our listeners. Good job as usual, Kev. We'll talk to you later. Okay, bud?
All right, thanks. Appreciate it. Frank Beckman Show is next. Let's check weather and traffic with Dana Clark.
This report is sponsored by Compassion.
All right, Kev.
All right, thank you. Thanks, Danielle. Thanks, everybody, for all the help. Thanks for the Facebook viewers who told me about the bad microphone an hour and a half ago, and then I finally checked it an hour and a half later. I said thanks to the Facebook friend who told me about the bad microphone like 2 hours ago, and then I finally checked it.
Think about it. You know what's so weird though is that it doesn't sound any different to me or to Danielle. We didn't think it was bad to begin with.
Well, I thought just because it was the one, and they said that it was like something to do with another device in their house, like they're listening through.
Because they said it was distorting their Amazon Alexa.
Yeah, Alexa. Yes, I thought, well, maybe that's just on their side, but
that's what I thought too. But it sounded fine. But it doesn't sound much different, to be honest.
No, but it was hooked up wrong, and who knows?
I mean, it wasn't bad.
Right.
So.
Well, it's quiet back here, so it's either the microphone's right here or it's up here. It's not that big a difference.
You're fine.
All right. Well, have a great day. I'll talk to you shortly.
All the Facebook people that tuned in. We'll see you,
everybody. Bye. See ya.
So northbound 275 at Ford Road, same spot.